Hello, hello, my people. Give it a minute for everybody to get in here, and we're going to stream Friday Hangout. Let's get some anime war going in the background so y'all have something to watch while I'm reading chat. Unfortunately, I cannot play sound on this because it will get taken down for music, but you can watch it. If you guys want to download this, you can always download it on my Patreon. I have the full updated 4K version on my Patreon. I am planning on re-releasing the entire thing on my main channel, but that'll take a lot of time. I'm going to redo all of it. I have to redo all the audio specifically, but I'm going to clean up all the art as well. What's up, guys? What up, what up? Happy Friday, people. How y'all doing? How's the audio and the lag? Are we streaming well? Is this pre-recorded? No, this is live. I'm live right now. I'm just putting Anime War in the background, just something you guys can watch while we talk. I can't put the audio, though, because the video will get copyrighted because I have all this copyrighted music in the old Anime War. If you guys want to watch Anime War, the original one, you can still find it on YouTube, but it's in low quality. If you want the highest quality version, you have to get it from my Patreon. Unfortunately, I cannot re-upload it to YouTube because of all the copyrighted music in it. That's the main reason I have to redo the whole thing before I re-release it, is I have to redo all of the audio for the entire series, and that's going to take a while. But I also want to clean up a lot of other stuff too. Dr. Deku said you've been a fan for 8 years. You got a Dragon Ball comic from my giveaway. That's awesome. Oh yeah, man. So I have these like really old, super old Dragon Ball Z comics I used to collect, and they're just rusting away in a binder. So like, yeah, about 8 years ago I did a giveaway, and I gave away a bunch of them. I forgot about that. That's awesome, dude. In the new Anime War, will you be introducing new gen anime characters? I don't think so, man. I think it's just going to be Gogitama versus some extremely powerful people. Because if I do Gogitama and I don't include the other anime characters, they can't copyright strike me. So Gogitama is like a made-up character. Technically, Toei doesn't own the license to that or anything. It's just a made-up character. So they couldn't take down my video. So that's the point. So if I revolve the whole series of Anime War 2 around Gogitama, then it will be safe from takedown. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. And I'm also not going to do a full-fledged like giant series. I really just want to make it maybe like a 3-episode series kind of thing, and just call it a day. You going to grow out your hair? What does that mean, bro? How's Anime War 2 going? Yeah, so I started drawing a little bit. I can draw a little bit today, maybe. I was just doing some warm-up because I'm a little rusty. I've been taking a break for the last couple weeks. Like, usually after I finish a video, I need like a month off from animating to just get healthy again and make sure my schedule doesn't get all messed up, and then I'll get back into it. So I'm just starting to like kind of get back into it now. How about that Saitama vs. Cosmic Fear Garo, though? That video was so... Oh, there he is! The Amaro, the man himself! Dude, I love your video. I think I've watched your video like 15 times probably already. Like, I love it so much. It's just so fun. It's just pure fun, man. Like, I love that you guys like weren't trying so hard to meet everyone's specifications, and you guys just did what you thought was fun, and it really shows, man. It really shows. You guys did such an awesome job. You guys should be really proud of yourselves, and keep going. Just try not to get an ego. Stay humble. It's really important in this community that you guys stay humble, and people will support you big time. Because you guys did it the real hard way. Like, no tracing. You did like mostly original sounds, like with voice actors. You didn't follow the anime process like specifically with storyboarding and stuff, but you guys were able to release a finished product without any like shortcuts, essentially. And I mean, that's super impressive. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen Omaru's video, man, you guys are missing out. It's so good. Will I still be promoting my manga? Yeah, I'm just taking Demon Rush. I'm just taking a little break. So like, I spent 4 years on Demon Rush, dude, and it's like, it feels like I'm trying to chisel through a mountain with a toothpick. It just feels so hard to really get the name out there because you have to I need so much marketing just to like get people to know it even exists. And the marketing itself is crazy expensive, man. So I'm working on a couple things right now, like maybe getting a grant. So in my state, they have grants for artists. So I'm trying to figure out some ways to kind of like build capital so I can go at Demon Rush again. But I mean, I pretty much spent 4 years and sunk a lot of money into it to build my brand. And I just need a break to kind of like rebuild my main channel, and then I'll get back to it eventually. But I can't keep going all in on Demon Rush when it's not earning money. Like, the economy's rough right now, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, breaks can be good too. I mean, I'm not like, I don't what do you call it? I don't have deadlines. Like, I can work at my own pace, and nobody owns me. Nobody owns a share of Demon Rush. So I'm kind of just like, I'll go at it like when I have the resources to make it good. Like, I don't want to release Demon Rush in poor quality. And sometimes you just need a break. You got to figure things out in life. It's really more of like a passion project and a dream than something I'm making to be world known. I can't put all my eggs in one basket of Demon Rush. Like, it's more so just to prove to myself that I have the capability of creating something like that if I give it my all. But I do want it. I mean, the story behind it is amazing, behind like how I, quit my full-time job to pursue it and made it happen through everything. So the story is amazing. I mean, I think it could inspire a lot of people that, pretty much your dreams are still possible no matter how old you are. Your dreams are always still possible. What's up, guys? The wife and kid are out of town, so I am free to, all night to stream and do whatever I want. So I figured I'd hang out with you guys. It's Friday. I'm not going to finish Goku vs. Superman, bro. I'm a little too worried about the copyright stuff with that, because, like, if I could make these fan films, if I could make them in a day, it would be different. Like, I wouldn't worry so much about getting copyright strikes. But if I'm spending 6 to 12 months on a single video, I mean, that's a lot of life force, bro, that they can just click a button and delete it. So, like, I'm just really hesitant to touch Superman. I know there's a lot of fan animations with Superman, and I'm probably okay. Like, I'm probably just being paranoid. But, I did have my whole suite of videos taken down once, so it's justified paranoia. Anime War Season 2 in 5 months. I mean, it really depends on how much I want to put into it. Red Hair Guy and Phenimation did a lot of frames, but I do need to add a lot more. So I don't know. I kind of I'm making this one really just out of pure passion. Like, I really just want to show people that, like, I can make an incredibly fluid combat animation, like the real correct original way, like without shortcuts. And so I really just want to put a lot of passion to it. In fact, actually, Omaro's video was, I kind of like laughed because this is exactly what I wanted to do for this fight between Goku versus Saitama, which was this super high-speed Sakuga. Like, literally months ago, I hired Red Hair Guy and Phenimation to do the sketches for it, and they made like 3,000 frames. And so then I see Omaro's video, and I'm like, dude, that's exactly what I was going to do for Anime Horror 2. I mean, that's why I loved it so much. Like, I wanted to just do this kind of pure speed Sakuga sort of thing for the two of them going at it. So that's what I'm going to try and do, and that's a lot of scenes. It's it's a lot of work, and it's really hard to just give myself a deadline. You never know how long certain scenes are going to take, and also there's literally an infinite amount of work you can put into any animated video, like actually infinite. So eventually you just have to get to a point where you're like, it's good enough, I'm going to release it. And if I don't feel like it's good enough, I'm going to keep working on it. So, like, I don't want to just give you guys a deadline. But as I get closer, I'm going to be posting a lot more to Patreon. I've just been taking kind of a break for the last 2 weeks, but I will. I will share more. I'm not trying to rush myself. I'm not trying to get sick again from overwork. I'm just going to kind of take my time, have fun with it, try and complete like 2 scenes a day, kind of like I did for the first half, and make sure I don't stress myself out, and it'll come eventually. But it's coming for sure. I mean, I spent money on it, so like I'm gonna work on it. I spent thousands on it already. How long to stream? I usually only stream for about 2 hours, and then my throat gives out. Video game preference, Dark Souls 3 is my favorite game of all time. If you never played the Dark Souls series, you are missing out on the most beautiful, mesmerizing experiences. Painful as hell, but man, are they fun, and adrenaline just pumps through your veins. Dude, I've gotten so good at the Dark Souls games, I could probably speed run it. Like, that's how much I love those games. Unfortunately, it's lost most of the challenge. It's gotten too easy, but I still like love it. Yeah, people don't understand that animation is hard. They're always asked, why don't you do more? Why isn't there more? I'm sorry, I missed a super chat. Craig, oh, what's up, Craig? How you doing, man? Missed me doing these hangouts? Yeah, well, I'll be doing them more this year. So one of my plans this year, and thank you for the super chat, Craig. Hope your family's doing great. One of my plans this year is to stream more, and I kind of want to take more of like a, I don't know if role model is the right word. I don't know if I'm a role model, but I've accomplished a lot in my life. I feel like I'm a pretty good person with a good heart and good intentions, and I feel like I can answer a lot of people's questions. So I kind of want to be like, I don't know, a strong figure that people can look up to, and that means stepping up to plate and being able to argue your points and everything. And I'm not really scared anymore, so that's something I want to do. A Dragon Ball Souls-like. Let me change this title. Maybe there's not a lot of people here. All right, change the title to Anime War and Hangout. I'm gonna probably be live for 2 hours or so. So yeah, I mean, I can draw here maybe in a little bit, but I just wanted to just chat with you guys and hang out and take it easy tonight. Not do anything crazy. Answer your questions and everything. DS1 did get a remake. I mean, it's remastered if you consider that a remake. I guess a remaster's not really a remake. I love Dark Souls 1, bro. I actually loved it. And even Dark Souls 2 was the last one I played because I heard it was so awful, and I even fell in love with Dark Souls 2. It's definitely the worst of all the Souls, but it's still a Souls game. And I was desperately looking for a new one to play, and I was like, all right, I'll try Dark Souls 2, and I was like, oh, this game's rough, and then I just fell in love with it. DBS remake and no season 2. So yeah, the rumor that I've heard is that the Dragon Ball announcement is that they are remaking Dragon Ball Super and they're going to re-release it, which I don't really understand the point of it. I mean, I think everybody would love that they would put those resources into like the Moro arc, but they'll do what they want. I mean, Dragon Ball Toei doesn't listen to us, bro. They'll do whatever they want. You were 6 years old when Anime Wars Season 1 came out, and now you're 17. That is crazy. You were watching me at 6 years old, and now you're 17. My goodness, bro. I kind of feel old, but I'm happy that I'm 40, man. Like, I think a lot of people go through some sort of midlife crisis, but like, I'm so comfortable with my age. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm the smartest and most wise I've ever been. I've accomplished the most, and I got to see what life was like before the internet. So I think like actually millennials are like the last generation to both like have the non-internet life and have the full-blown internet life, and like truly know the difference about how fast everything changed. Which ultimately I also believe is the reason why millennials are going to have to be the ones to save this world from all of this evil, because we're like really the ones that should know what's going on better than anybody. Would I do a separate channel with commentary on video games? Yeah, I was thinking about that for a while, man, but ultimately, like, for me, I kind of have to just go where my passion is. Like some games are fun, but I don't know. I think being a gaming content creator can be really hard. It depends if you're like a content creator where no matter what video you make, your fans will come watch you. Or if you're the video game content creator, like when a new game comes out, you do all the tutorials, where to find the items, here's all the hints and tips. Like that's transactional content. Whereas if you're like, I think his name's NanoGenX, Reacts, and Rhymestyle, right? Like those guys can just pretty much pull the same views no matter what game they play. So they've built the brand like around themselves. And I think that's always better to try and build the brand around yourself. But it's also ultimately way harder to do that. You have to be really entertaining. You have to become the brand. And if you're not that entertaining and super high energy, maybe you just do the hints and secrets, tips and tricks kind of videos. But that stuff really doesn't interest me too much, man. Honestly, I am going to start a new channel, but I'm going to be talking about God because that's like what I'm more passionate about than anything. Like I finally found I found my calling, and it's God. And it feels so right to me. Like it just feels so right to me, dude. Can I make you a mod? I don't know what that means. You want me to do reactions of other animes? Like, I mean, okay, so I usually only react to fan animations, and the point of that is for a couple reasons. One, I'm a fan animator, but two, when I react to fan animations, it's because like I want my subscribers who also like fan animations to go support those animators. It's a way to like kind of share the community with people. I make like, maybe $50 to $100 reacting to the video. They get a bunch of new subscribers, and the subscribers get new content to watch. So it's kind of like everybody wins. So I think that's the only reason I react to fan animations. But like reacting to like movie trailers and stuff, I don't feel like I can really contribute enough value doing that, to be honest. Like actually, even with my main channel, I kind of feel like I'm not really offering enough value these days. And I'm trying to figure out ways that I can offer more value. Oh, you want to be a mod for the channel? All right, bro. I don't know if you have good intentions, but I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I will do a standard moderator, and if you prove yourself, then you will be promoted to the managing moderator. Well, I know I also got Shaka Demons. He's been with me for 10 years, and he moderates, but he's not in here right now. What do I think of Sora 2 and VO 3.1? So yeah, dude, I've been experimenting a lot with AI, but ultimately I think the AI video models are still pretty bad. I just really like Grok. I like Grok Imagine the best, just simply because for anime, it gives you really good insight on how to move characters who are like really highly detailed and shaded. It's somehow, I don't know how they're able to program it, but it somehow knows like how to move all that information correctly, for the most part correctly. You have to correct it a lot, but it's pretty amazing, like some of the stuff that Grok Imagine can do. So you want to see Deku? I mean, I know because everybody wants to see all these anime characters come back because they were a part of Anime War 1. So I could try and figure out something. But like, honestly, guys, I haven't even written anything past the first episode. It's so hard to write. I have an idea now. Like, I might just call it Anime War 2 Trials of Gojitama. And it's going to be like, spoilers, I guess. So they're going to meet the Aeons. Like, basically, they're going to go to the dimension above, like, the highest dimension. They're going to meet these beings that are, like, way, way, way beyond any gods that have ever been introduced. The Aeons. And they're going to put Gojitama through these, like, trials where he has to fight these super powerful warriors. I was thinking about bringing Akumo. So, the first trial for Gojitama to prove he's worthy of being a god is to fight Akumo. I think fans would love that. Gojitama versus Akumo. What do you think? because people keep asking me about Akumo Part 3, which I don't know if I'm ever going to do, but could bring him into Anime War 2 and have him fight Goji Tama. I think fans would like that. So one of the problems I have is like, how do you create a villain that's strong enough to fight Omni Goji Tama, bro? Like, what kind of god, you know? You have to introduce a god that's super threatening that can beat like an omnipotent triple fusion god. That's like, I don't even know how you write that. But I'm working on some concepts. Will I do any fan animations after Anime War 2? Maybe, man. Maybe if AI can help me, like, I want to make. I mean, ideally, if there was a way that you can make like an anime video in a week or even less, even like in a few days, that'd be awesome. But people hate AI, and I'm on board with that. I actually would prefer for it not to be used. Like, I'm the kind of person that, like, if it's being used, I'm going to use it too, so I don't fall behind. But I would prefer that it was an even playing field and there was zero AI anywhere, which unfortunately I don't think is going to happen. But what I'm trying to say is, like, these traditional ways of doing 2D animation, like, you can't spend 6 months per YouTube video and expect it to be a full-time job. Like, you're not going to make enough money off that to survive. So it's something you really just, like, kind of do for passion. And in that sense, it's not like a really good business model, you know, to just like to try and survive making fan animations on YouTube. It's like the worst business model ever. So if there was some way in the future to like kind of like make it easier and I could survive doing it, yeah, probably. But again, so I kind of just want to do this series, and I mean, I don't know how to explain this, but I had this crazy spiritual experience lately, and with everything going on in the world, like I have this theory of everything that I want to tell the world, and it's really important to me. So I think that, I mean, honestly, so the main plan right now is release Anime War 2, then go back and re-release all of the original Anime War updated, and then I'll be free to, I guess, do Anime War 2 Episode 2. And by that time, hopefully, I'll have figured out the story. Would AI be considered cheating? I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, people hate AI. Like, it can still get views and everything. Like, artists hate AI because it's stealing their work and their jobs, and it's totally justified. So I feel like if you use AI too much, people can tell and they hate it. Like, they know it's soulless. I think that's the issue, is when you watch something that's AI, you know it's soulless. You don't feel anything, like, unless you can't tell. I don't know, even if. So I think it's like really important for people to feel like a real human made it with passion and love. And so I don't want to do like full-blown AI stuff that doesn't feel human. Only if I can use it like as a tool to like speed up and enhance my work. So like I would hope, I mean, I didn't really get any comments from anyone from the Anime War 2 episode 1, like the first half. I didn't get any comments from people that like, oh, this feels like AI slop. I didn't get a single comment like that. I got a couple of questions. Did you use AI for this? But I already explained I used it. I mean, not to like, so my explanation was, I don't want it to be the main driver. I just want to use it as a tool, like a calculator to speed things up and make sure like my work is correct and good. And that was really my process for it. But Toei Animation did get backlash after announcing they were going to use AI for One Piece, but then they decided not to. Oh, so okay, so I do want to talk about this, dude. So, like, starting maybe this year, I saw maybe it was next year, these anime companies are going to be investing like billions of dollars in anime. So I think like they're really going to start using AI to like mass produce anime very quickly. And they have some sort of plan to explode it. I was gonna make a whole video on it. I wish I would have saved the post, but it was like something like all these anime companies are gonna go crazy. Basically, we're gonna get content flooded. I mean, it's gonna be really nice at first to have all this amazing anime, but then when like all these new series are coming out every single day and you don't know what to watch and there's just content everywhere, it's going to like really lose its value, which saddens me a great deal because especially with anime, it's such an unimaginably difficult, nearly impossible art form to create. And now you're creating this tool, you know, which can just spam the entire market with this very rare item. I mean, part of the reason that anime is so special is because it's so rare, and they're going to remove that. And that has me worried that it's just not going to hit the same once, you know, a 12-year-old can make an anime from his bedroom. Like, I don't know if it'll hit the same anymore. Which manga's been good? Which manga are you talking about? Shavwe? Will I use AI for Japanese voices? So yes, I absolutely would, okay? Because that would solve a lot of my problems. For one, I don't like using the voices of the Japanese actors. I think it's kind of unethical. I know fans like it. It makes it feel real, so it like emotionally hits them more, but because they can't actually understand what the characters are saying, but it sounds right. So if I used AI to make the Japanese voices, at least they're saying the right things. I'm not using the real voice actor's voice, which is technically their property. So I think, yeah, I would probably do 2 versions, one in English, one in Japanese. But I still don't think that AI can voice act even remotely close. It can animate way better than it can voice act at this point. But I'm sure it will get to that point very soon where it can voice act. Like, it'll probably be, you just type in a prompt like, you know, have Goku screaming, don't use Nozawa's voice, but like make it somewhat similar, give it like a couple parameters, and it'll come out with some voice that's like perfect for Goku that, you know, isn't a voice actor, and you just download it and put it in your animation. So I will absolutely. I mean, it's like, I like working with voice actors, but it's hard to find them. It's you got to pay them. You got to do reshoots. It's just a lot of work. Like, if you can just type in a prompt and get all your sound files, it's like, as a solo animator, you know, or video producer trying to put together something that humans aren't supposed to make themselves, yeah, it's nice. But I don't want it to be used for like real anime productions. Like, nothing's ever going to beat the Japanese, man. Like, they are incredible at voice acting. Like, so next level, everybody else is a joke. They're so passionate and strong. Their voices never get tired. They're so emotional. They get so into it, man. Like, it's crazy. I love working with Japanese voice actors, dude. They're just on another level. They're like S++ tier, like, in terms of voice acting levels. It's crazy. One Punch Man Season 3 Part 2. Yeah, I doubt we're going to get justice. I bet you it's just going to be a repeat of Part 1, man. I don't think they listened at all to our criticism. I don't think they care about Westerners like that. Like, truly, they don't. They think we're a bunch of entitled assholes, and they really don't care about what we think. Which is unfortunate, but... What do I think of getting fighting sketches from the internet and using it in my own style? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't want to copy anybody's work anymore, dude. Like, I did that my first year of YouTube, and I got humbled real quick by people who were like, "What are you doing?" And I didn't understand like even what I was doing back then. So I'm also walking on eggshells. Everybody has me under a microscope. So like, I got, I have to be careful and make sure that things are fresh and not done by someone else before. Is Omnigod just an evolution of Super Saiyan Blue? I guess. I mean, yeah, because Blue is like, it's still a god form, but it's just kind of like mastering your ki, I guess. It's supposed to be like the ultimate god form for Saiyans. The highest level. Will I do a community fan animation project where everybody works together to make an animation? So I was actually planning the whole Saitama vs. Monster God was supposed to be a community project. And I started working on it, and sometimes I just like get into something, a project, and I'm just like, I get like a third of the way through, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do the whole thing myself. Like working with people can be really challenging. People are emotional, and sometimes they cause a lot of issues, and so there's a huge value in doing everything yourself. You can move so much faster than having a team, but I would like to do a community project. So Amaro told me that the Discord that I was talking about, I hopped in this One Punch Man Discord. I thought it was Amaro's, but I guess it wasn't. And they were working on a Garo versus, maybe it was Garo versus Boros community fan animation project. And I was thinking about helping them, but ultimately I just decided to do Saitama vs. God by myself. I would like to be a part of it. I wouldn't like to organize it. See, dude, nobody's given me a chance to like be like, hey, Master, would you like to do a scene for our animation? Like with your skill, like no tracing, just actually do a scene. Nobody's asked me. And I would love to be part of something. I would do it for free just to be a part of a community project. I just don't want to organize it, man. It's organizing all those people is chaos sometimes. It's really stressful. Oh, Omni's way stronger than Ultra Ego. Ultra Ego's weak, dude. Ultra Ego Vegeta never won a fight. That form is trash, bro. Well, Canon Saitama, I mean, he can never stop increasing in power. So, just because of that one chart from Saitama vs. Garo, I mean, that was pretty much Murata saying, your character can never beat mine because he grows. Like, we didn't know that he grew in power like that. That was the big thing with Saitama, is that we knew he was stronger than everybody else on Earth, you know, but he never went up against Goku. And maybe Goku's so strong that he could one-shot Saitama, right? But then we see the Saitama vs. Garo fight, and Saitama's power just keeps exponentially growing in order to combat an opponent of equal strength. And so if Saitama fought Goku, eventually he would just blow past him in strength. Well, regular Goku, not Omni Goku. So I'm going to give Omni Goku some crazy powers, bro. I want to give him some really, really cool stuff for this fight. All sorts of really cool things. Like, I'm going to make him more of a martial artist than Dragon Ball Super, and I'm going to give him all sorts of, like, new abilities and stuff. I want it to be really fun. Did the author of One Punch Man say Goku is stronger? I don't remember that. I never heard that before. I mean, one may have said that, but when did he say it? Did he say it before the Saitama growth chart? You know, things change. Yeah, Amaro's animation is like, I think it's like #1 trending, dude. It's awesome. It's nice to have, like, I love that the community came together and made something, you know? And these guys are so humble. Like, they didn't ask for anything. They're just like, hey, guys, look, we made something together. And it's, like, fucking awesome. Especially after One Punch Man Season 3. This was, like, so necessary, bro. Like, what inspired me to make Anime War? Well, it started with Goku vs. Saitama. So the first time I ever saw Saitama, someone shared a clip on Facebook. Episode 5 of One Punch Man Season 1 had just aired, and it was Saitama vs. Genos. And that clip of Saitama fighting Genos went mega viral. And I was like, yo, what is this anime? This is crazy. So, of course, I went and I watched it. I completely fell in love with it. I read the manga. And I wanted to see Saitama fight Goku, too. But there was no videos of it. There was only one video. I think the guy's channel's name was like Cartoon Hooligans or something like that. And he made them gay with each other. It was like just this silly, instead of actually having them fight, they like, I don't know, kiss or something. And so I was like, well, that's not what I wanted. Like, I wanted to see them fight. And so I waited like another month or two and still nobody had them fighting. And so I was like, well, I'm learning how to do animation. So like, I'm going to try it. So I made the original Goku vs. Saitama. And it was so awful. It was 5 minutes long. It took me 6 weeks to make it. My wife watercolor painted the background for it, and man, it was rough, bro. But The first night it got like 3,000 views, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. It was like the most viewed video on my channel already. And by the end of the next night, it was at 10,000 views. And then after a week, it was at like 100, and the next week 200, and it just kept growing. And I actually, it had stressed me out so much that I even put it this like a little note at the end of the video, like a credit saying, man, if this video doesn't get 1 million views, I'm not animating anymore. Like, I'm done animating, period. And it got 1 million views. So I was like, all right, I guess this is what you guys want. So I made it a 9-episode series. The finale was great. Fans loved it. But I left it open-ended with these evil gods coming and Beerus showing up, like just in case I wanted to keep going. And the response was overwhelming. People were freaking out. They loved the final episode, Goku vs. Saitama Part 9, and they wanted to see Beerus fight the evil gods and Goku to join in and everything. So I took a little break, started thinking about Anime War, started working on some concepts, some ideas, and then like January of the next year, I released Anime War Episode 1, and it just exploded, bro. Like, it exploded. It got so many views, millions and millions of views, and the response was crazy. My channels exploded, and I just kept going. I was really passionate, but and people loved it, but I got really burnt out, man. I was working so hard, so fast. I wasn't resting. I wasn't being healthy. I was just freaking produce. Like, don't take care of yourself, just produce. And that's why I was growing so fast. I was going crazy hard, man. I just sacrificed my health to produce this stuff. And by the end of the 5th episode, I remember making a video where I was like, my eyes were all bloodshot and I was so tired. And I was just like, guys, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I'm dying. Like, I can't do this anymore. And so I tried to take a break, and my fans wouldn't let me take a break, man. They just kept pushing me. Any video I released that wasn't Anime War, it's just all the comments were like, stop releasing this garbage, work on Anime War. And so I just kept working on it. I skipped episode 8 because I was like, I finished episode 7, and I was like, look, I got maybe a few more episodes to just finish this whole thing. If I just hunker down for another 2 years, I can finish it. But I got to skip an episode. So I skipped episode 8, and I went straight into episode 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 5 more episodes after that. And the final episode took me an entire year, and it was taken down in 3 hours, which was crazy. So at that point, I was like, well, I accomplished my childhood dream of kind of like making some fan-made Dragon Ball animation. Like, it was a huge kid's dream for me. I used to draw all sorts of fan-made Dragon Ball comics and stories, and dude, I was obsessed with Dragon Ball growing up my whole life. So this was one of my childhood dreams. But then I kind of realized, but like, that's not the real dream. The real dream is to have your own show. And then, so after Toei took down everything, I was like, I'm going to make my own anime so they can't touch me anymore. And it was kind of like fulfilling the childhood dream in me was, to have my own show. I always envisioned having my own story. And really feel like my ultimate strength as a person is storytelling. I'm very good at understanding people and telling stories. That's a really big strength of mine. Yeah, the Anime War journey was crazy. I think it was the first fan series to ever actually be completed on YouTube. Like, first Dragon Ball one anyway. Yeah, Dragon Ball Epsilon was what inspired me to even learn how to animate in the first place. So my inspiration, I know I inspired a whole new generation of animators, but my inspiration was Melavelli, who did Dragon Ball Epsilon. Because I was sitting at a desk at an office job. I was 27 years old, and I was eating lunch and just like watching YouTube, and I saw Dragon Ball Epsilon like episode 2 or something, and it just blew me away. I couldn't believe that. I didn't know that you could animate from home. Like, it was always something I wanted to do since I was a kid because I loved animation so much. But I never knew that you could do it like from home, like on a computer. And so once I saw Melavelli do it, I rewatched his videos religiously. I started watching tutorials, and I was like, wait, if I just buy like a tablet and practice, like, I could learn how to do this too. And it was really rough at first, man. You should go back and watch my original League of Legends animations. Those are my first few animations ever. That stuff is beyond rough, bro. Like, there's no words for how bad it is, but it takes time. And animation is a literal lifelong process, brother. It is a lifelong journey. It's not a 5-year thing. you know, you can go to school for it, yeah, but you don't come out an expert. It requires like infinite years of practice. You just keep getting better and better and learning more and more. It is a true medium of creativity where there's basically no limits, essentially. So it's a lifelong thing. I wish it paid more, man. It does not pay. Animation is not a job that pays unless you work for like Disney, or some of the American studios pay really well, but in the rest of the world, it's literal slave labor, which is just super unfortunate. Dude, you didn't know I made Anime War? Why don't you do it how Deliverance does it? Taking time and being chill about it. Well, dude, they have a whole team. So basically what happened was Anime War inspired a lot of this stuff where the criticism and the hatred over like the methods I used to produce Anime War with repurposing footage, using the voice actors and everything like that, all the shortcuts. There was a lot of criticism, heavy, it was a big talking point in the community. People were like, you shouldn't be making this stuff with shortcuts, even if it's fan-made. And so a lot of groups of animators who are inspired by just the ability to even create like kind of a fake, you know, anime episode from home, a lot of these guys, they wanted to do it too. But they wanted to do it the right way so they wouldn't get all the criticism I did. So, you know, no tracing, hire voice actors, paint the landscapes, all that stuff. And so they assembled a team of just very passionate animators who work for free together. They have a Discord with each other. They advise each other, give each other feedback, show each other the clips, and they work on it, as far as I understand, they work on it entirely for free. There's maybe 10 of them, somewhere around there, and that's why it takes them a year plus to make an episode. So the thing is, it's free, man. Like, I could probably get animators to help me for free, but I like to pay people. I just want people to be compensated. But I did get a lot of offers for help for free when I first started Anime War because people were just so excited and like they wanted to contribute. But I pay people now, you know, like I like to help artists anyway. It's kind of like a way that I can encourage them to keep pushing, is just, here's some money for your effort, you know, just show them that somebody cares. But yeah. All right, let's see what else. You're a Christian too? That's awesome, brother. You want to make fan animations, but you don't know where to start, and you have to avoid using references. So you could go to school for it, man. I mean, if you really care about animation, you can go to school for it. You can self-teach yourself. If you have enough ambition in your heart, you can self-teach yourself just about any trade just using the internet, with the exception of something you need, like being like a surgeon or maybe a lawyer, like something you need like an actual degree to practice the trade. But if you're trying to just be like learn how to animate, you don't have to go to school for it, right? You can self-teach. It requires a lot of practice, very ambitious mentality to improve, but you can absolutely do it. So how would you start? The first thing you need to do is you need Clip Studio Paint. Okay, that is the #1 program that you should use for art and animation. Clip Studio Paint. It's better than Photoshop. I use Adobe Animate, which is formerly Flash, which is actually, I used to use it to make websites. And I use it for animation, but it's a really bad program in my opinion. Clip Studio Paint is way better. I know all these cheat codes with Animate now, and Clip Studio doesn't have them, or I don't know how to use it, so that's why I don't use it. But I actually prefer to sketch and draw in Clip Studio. So you need the software. I would recommend getting a screen tablet. So if you can ask your parents or relatives, like for Christmas or your birthday or something, you can get a screen tablet for a few $100s. I would definitely recommend that. But if that's completely out of the picture, you can draw with your mouse. You can draw on your phone with Flip a Clip. In fact, I think red hair guy, literally all of his animations he does on his phone with his finger. I think the guy's just just crazy talented. And so you can do that. It's a really good way to practice to get started. Download Flip a Clip on your phone. And if you want to get really good and professional, start making videos, definitely Clip Studio Paint and get a tablet. And just practice, man. You got to learn. You got to watch a lot of footage, watch anime, like put it in some sort of video editor where you can go frame by frame and actually see what the animators are doing on those really cool scenes you love. Like slow it down to frame by frame and study it. Study what those animators did to make that scene look so cool. And and other than that, man, it's really just about practice. It's about having an open mind, being able to accept criticism. You know, and just admitting that you can always improve. You know, don't ever get an ego to the point where you're like, I'm the best or I can't improve anymore. Animation is one of those things that's literally you can always improve. There is no limit. There is no end. So use Flip a Clip. Yeah, that's good. I've never used it, but I've seen a lot of really talented animators use Flip a Clip, and it's just their finger and a phone, and they make crazy stuff. So that blows my mind, bro, that people can do that. Yeah, I tried Toon Boom for a little bit. It wasn't for me, but some people really love it. My favorite manhwa is Solo Leveling. I mean, bro, I was all about Solo Leveling way before the anime. Way before it. Sakugaburo. Yeah, I think it used to be a good site, but it seems a little cluttered now. It seems like they just upload any animation to it, man. I mean, not everything on there is Sakuga anymore. It used to be reserved for like the really amazing clips that would blow your mind, and now it's just like any animated clip they want, they just upload it there. So it's hard to find stuff. Like, you know, I'll look for like a flowing cape or impact frames or something for just some ideas, and I just can't find anything. Like, I don't know, their search function isn't that good. I don't know, but I like the idea of Sakugaburo for sure. I mean, I think a lot of animators use it for like reference and inspiration and stuff. Is there Omnigod 2 or 3 or 4? Well, when he first transformed, he had 2 limiters on his forehead, that like A looking thing. There was 2 bars on it. And then when he then in episode 13 he broke one of the bars after meeting his father, Bardock. And so that's like the highest level, is just like having 1 bar. You see Vegeta right here? That's 1 bar. That's the highest level. You can't break the bar and actually become like the true omnipotent god unless you fuse. That's like just something I put in there. So when they fuse into Gogeta, that A turns into just a V, and that's like the highest level. Like they literally can't get any stronger. Oh, Murin manhwa. Okay, it's a different genre. I haven't seen it, dude. I'll look into that. Have you got any good recommendations for like a really good one? No, the video I have on isn't looped. This is the entire Anime War movie. It's 3.5 hours long. This is all of like, I guess technically Anime War is like Goku vs Saitama season 2. So this is all technically season. It's confusing because people are calling Anime War season 1 and now Anime War 2 is season 2. But there was actually like a prequel to even Anime War, which was just Goku vs Saitama, which was 9 episodes. I'm good, man. Blue Springy. Wife and daughter are out of town. They went on a skiing trip. And I just wanted to stay home and get things done. So I am free to stream. So I'm just figured to hang out with you boys. I love talking to you guys. Anime War 7 was the best because you like that Vegeta was in the Genjutsu the whole time? You like to make manga rather than animate? Your goal is to become a professional mangaka? Yeah, it's absolutely easier to make your own story doing manga for sure. I will tell you this though, man. I don't know if people are really buying comics anymore. It feels like the comic and manga industry is not strong in America. It's really not that strong. It's very strong in Japan. It's strong for like brands that are already solidified. So, you know, a omnibus of Naruto or Dragon Ball or One Punch, like those kind of books will sell the volumes. but I really don't see a lot of people buying new comics. It's a very niche thing, man. So what I'm trying to tell you is like, it's really not, unfortunately, like I really don't want to disappoint you guys who have dreams and aspirations to be artists, but it's this really bad career choice. It's going to be a very difficult life for you. So in Japan, they choose to be animators and artists, even though they get paid like maybe $2 an hour max, like probably less, maybe $2 a day. Like literally some of them get paid $200, $300 a month for 7 days a week of work. So, but because it's a job that's like fun and people want to do it, this is the Japanese culture. They can charge that. Like this is the huge problem that we have on our hands, and that a lot of the West has been talking about. We want better conditions for animators, but we cannot change the Japanese culture. So some studios have tried. I think it was Studio Ghibli and maybe even one other. They tried to increase the animator conditions and pay them more and try and set like a standard for the rest of the community or the rest of the country, but like it didn't stick. And it just seems like, I think the reason for it is what happens is, say you have a company like Bandai says, okay, we're looking for studios for One Punch Man Season 3. I think the ultimate reason for it is that they're like, okay, we only want to spend $1 million. Like, we're not going to go over that $1 million for the season. Does anyone want to do it? And every single studio just says, no, that's not enough money. And then JC Staff's like, we'll do it. We'll figure it out. And that's kind of how it works. It's almost like proposals where people have to like bid for the project, and they bid by lowering their price. And to lower their price, they have to decrease the wages of their employees. And the whole system is just screwed. Basically, like the production committee and the license owners are making all the money, all of it, and they don't distribute. And that's Japan's fault. It has nothing to do with me or America or the West or anything. It's just they don't pay their animators well. They don't treat them well. They don't give them weekends. They work them like slaves because it's like, you like to do this job, so we can do that. That's literally their mentality. Like, I mean, I've listened to a lot of interviews with Japanese people, animators who say that. Because like, think about it. I mean, if you're hungry, right, and your skill is drawing, and they're like, we'll give you $20 to make 10 seconds of animation, which actually happens. $20 for 10 seconds. I give $50 per second of footage. But some of these animation studios, like in the Philippines, China, $20 per 10 seconds of animation. That's like, I don't know how many, that's a lot of work, man. That is crazy. That's 250 pictures or something for $20. Like, that's crazy. And so people will take it because they're hungry. And that's the skill they have. So it's a way to make money, but it is brutal labor. Brutal. I ran out of music. Hold on, guys. How do you become an animator for Toei? So if you guys want to become like actual professional animators and be hired by the studios, Twitter is your best bet. X. So practice a lot, post all of your best animations to X, be an active community member, talk to a lot of animators, build up your following, and mainly build up your portfolio. Like, you need to have a portfolio. As someone who hires animators, when somebody tells me I can animate or they can animate, the first thing I do is I go to the profile and I look at all of their animations, and I can instantly tell if they're skilled or not. So if you do want to become a professional animator, I think honestly the best way to start is just posting all your stuff on X. Put the hashtag indie_anime. A lot of animators all over the world use that hashtag, so when people are looking up the hashtag, yours will show up too. And you just got to practice, man. You got to make something that really shocks people, and then you'll get hired. And that takes time. Yeah, $20 for 10 seconds is like, it's slave labor, man, like literally. So I pay animators really well, dude. I pay them probably too well, but I want them to be happy working with me and feel happy with their work. Like that's important to me as well. Oh, Grindscoper, let me see. The Regressed Mercenaries Machinations. It has the best choreography. All right, bro. I'm gonna write this down for you, buddy. I'm gonna read this for you. I'll read it later tonight when I get off. Have I ever thought of working for a studio? Well, I thought I wanted to, man. Like, I really thought I wanted to. But... I would love to, like, if they hired me as some sort of, like, creative director or assistant director or something like that, like, I would love it. I would love it. I haven't got an offer yet to date, unfortunately, but... I don't think I'd want to be an animator. I mean, even though I can animate, it's not my strong point by any means. Art is not my strong point either. I'm much better at directing, producing, managing teams, storytelling, writing. Those are way more strong points for me. I'm really good at like noticing pieces of information that could be better or missing, like, but maybe not really good, but I'm pretty good there. Like value adds. What I'm trying to say is I know how to add value in scenes that like it's just missing a tiny little bit. And if you would add like one tiny little thing, it would make the scene like 10 times better. Like that's what I'm trying to say. So I understand people very well. Like I am a very powerful observer of people, and so that's one of my strong points. But I would, man, if a studio is like, hey, you know, we want to bring you on board. Like okay, let me give you an example. One thing I want. The One Punch Man movie, so they announced like 3-4 years ago there's going to be a live action One Punch Man movie. Bro, they gotta bring me on board. Like, not to be saitama, just to make sure that they follow the damn manga correctly. Like, just bring me on as like an industry expert. Just to make sure that they don't ruin the series with this movie like Dragon Ball Evolution. Like, that's what I want to do. Have I seen Dragon Ball Legend? Absolutely, yeah. A lot of fans were upset I didn't react to it. I probably should have. It was posted on X, and I saw it on X, and I was like, holy crap. And I watched the whole thing on X, so I didn't want to like fake a reaction to it. But I kind of wish I wouldn't have watched it first. It was amazing. I love what those guys did. I love the fact that they had an original style, and I know that people really like that stuff, man. Like when you're able to take an anime that's like mainstream and draw the characters in like a different style, like it's almost like a different artist master drew it, like it's a completely different style but it still feels like the same property. Like that's a really cool thing to do, because it's obviously like, you know, we watch Dragon Ball, we try and draw Dragon Ball, but to draw Dragon Ball in a style that's not polygons but it still feels like Dragon Ball is very impressive. They did a lot of really cool, unique animations with it. I think the only thing I didn't like that they did was they used copyrighted music. They made this incredibly amazing story and animation, everything completely original, like super, super original, and then they used copyrighted music. So that was like a little, like they used the old Dragon Ball music. And I was worried that Toei was going to take their video down just for the music, but they didn't. So yeah, that's why I didn't react to it. But yeah, that's one of the best fan animations on the internet, period. And it's truly incredible. Like when these guys, they spent 4 years to make that video, dude. Dragon Ball Legend of Dragon Ball Tale took 4 years. 4. So it's not something that you can do as a career or as a job. You can't spend 4 years on a video. I mean, even if it makes $10,000, or it has 10 million views right now, I think. So even if it makes, let's say that's $10,000, like $10,000 for 4 years of work. Well, that's nothing, man. That's not even McDonald's. It's not even close to McDonald's money. So you have to. That's how I look at it. Like it's not survivable to make animations for a living. You usually end up spending money to make it. It's just that you love it so much. But for Legend of Dragon Ball Tale, they also were trying to promote their studio. For Bakugo vs. Inuyasuke by Dan Mark, he was trying to sell his course. That also took him 4 years. So a lot of these best fan animations on the internet, it took them about 4 years to make. And they're only like a couple minutes long. So I don't that, and that's why like I don't think people really grasp the concept of why you shouldn't just criticize it immediately. It's like someone's giving you a present. They spent incredible amount of their life force, their time, their money to give you something for free that's highly entertaining and original art. And for whatever reason, it's like a present. And your first response is to immediately criticize it. Like that's the whole reason I made that video the other day about nobody cares about your criticism. It's like, imagine someone gives you a present and you look them in the eye and you say, it could be better. It's like, you ungrateful little shit. Like, you don't deserve it. So it's just a matter of manners, right? That's really what the point I was trying to get to with that video. What's my type of taste in anime? Just shonen power fantasy, mainly. I mean, I love action, strong, manly characters. I do like, I mean, not all action. Like, I love a good story. I love, like, when the stakes are really high and the villain just feels impossible to beat. Stuff like that. Like, but even with that, solo leveling, I mean, I love solo leveling. Like, it just hits power fantasy times 100, man. Yeah, what's up, Black Genesis? Oh, is that Kenny? What's up, bro? Yeah, just started. How long did I start? Maybe an hour ago or something. Yeah, we'll be going for another hour or something like that. Yeah, we've been 1 hour live. Did I go to college? Yeah, I went to college for business, and I worked all sorts of jobs in my 20s, man. All sorts. I finally settled down working for like a government contracting, basically a defense contractor, and I was doing proposal work, and I did that until I was about 30, and I just couldn't take it anymore. It was the worst experience of my life, man. Like, they would like I was in charge of putting together the binders for the proposal. So the government will say, like, let's say the government says, we're giving a grant for $10 billion to rebuild Africa, right? And so this is actually one of the ones that I worked on. I think it was $2 billion to like build water systems in Africa. And the government would ask you so they would say, which company wants to do this for $2 billion? You have to do it the best and the cheapest. So all the companies want to do it because they want to win the $2 billion, right? So they have to give the government a proposal. And a proposal is like a series of these massive books, like binders that all these technical experts wrote. Most of it's crazy. But basically, 5,000 page binders, 8 volumes, 50 copies. And I would be in charge of facilitating the entire process. And then at the end, you would have to print them. The government would not read them electronically. So you have to literally print all of those binders twice, because you need 8 volumes, 5,000 pages, and print it twice. And you have to literally print all that stuff in the printing room, put it in the binders, okay, page by page. This is what my job used to be. Then it's a high-paying job too. They locked me in a room for 36 hours doing this, and that was very normal in the proposal defense contracting world. And oh my god, I lost it, bro. I guess I had a mental breakdown. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. And then after you're done with all that, then when everybody else comes into work, when you've been up all night counting these damn books, then you have to do a book check, in which you have to have 8 people stand around, each with a copy of that binder, and you flip page by page to make sure there's no errors on every page. It's the most insane job ever, dude. It like literally drove me crazy, and I was just like, there's got to be more to life than this. Like, I cannot spend my life doing this. So I just straight up quit. I was just like, I'm going to quit and try and figure it out. I'm going to start YouTube. And what I did was, when I bought a new computer, a camera, a microphone, a tablet, I was like, I'm going to go all in on YouTube and all this stuff. And man, about 3 months of making content and barely any views, and rent was just eating me alive. Like, I had no income because I had just quit my job. And I went full time on YouTube, and for about 3 months, just bills just melted all my savings. And I was like, damn it, I'm going to have to get a job again. So I took another job, another proposal job. It was a little bit less stressful, but I kept working on my YouTube videos. And then eventually I made Goku vs. Saitama. That blew up. And then it was around I released episode 5 and 6 of Goku vs. Saitama when Black Goku first came and Saitama unleashed Berserker mode. I released those, went on vacation with my wife. My channel just exploded, and I came back And they're like, yeah, we're going to have to lay you off. And I was like, when can I leave? I don't want to be here. Like, I'm done. I'm going full power on YouTube. And within 6 months, I was making more money on YouTube than I was at my defense contractor job. So I don't recommend that people, like, if you have a passion that you want to go all in on, I don't recommend you quit your job and jump into it. What you have to do is work your job and build your passion on the side after you get home. And that requires sacrificing sleep mainly. Like, I was staying up till 3 a.m. animating. I'd wake up at 6 a.m. I'd animate for another hour. And then I would go to work. I would come home for lunch and animate for an hour. Then go back to work and then come home and animate till 3 a.m. That's what it took me to take off my YouTube channel, man. And obviously the company I was working for didn't like that very much. I was tired. I wasn't doing great work. I was checked out, man. When my YouTube started growing, wow, that was an incredible feeling to have that level of like, something is working for you, like something you love is growing that has a lot of potential. And so when I ultimately decided to just go all in on it, it just exploded. Like, I knew that if I didn't have to spend 8 hours a day at the office and I could spend those 8 hours working on this stuff, like, I could explode my channel even more. And it did. Yeah, animation will never be easy, bro. Like, it's literally it's impossible to perfect. There's no end to the amount of animation you can put into every second, essentially. I mean, that's arguable, but like, there's no end to the amount of frames and movement and detail and shading and information that you can add to every second of animation. And so, no, it's one of the most difficult artistic mediums in the entire world, if not the most difficult. But I actually think music is the most beautiful artistic medium, because music, although animation can like inspire you and make you feel emotions, music can literally move you. Like, it can actually move your body. Like, when you listen to like EDM, like, your brainwaves synchronize with the music, and that's why people want to like start dancing and moving. It like literally moves you. Isn't that a line from Eminem? Like, music can move you or something. I was never good at making music. It was always something I wanted to get into, but it's just not my thing. Dancing is difficult to draw, I'm sure. Will I ever animate Soren again? So a lot of people want me to bring Anime War into Soren from Demon Rush into Anime War 2. But I don't think I'm going to, because I really just want to avoid copyright. I don't like, what if I bring Soren in and then Demon Rush actually does grow and get popular and become a brand, and then they see that like I mixed my character with their character without asking, and that ruins like future potential business opportunities. Like, that's what I'm concerned about. I'm just gonna use the bathroom, guys. I'll be right back in a minute. I'm back. Hey, Shaka's in here. We got the OG mod. Shaka will take care of all the nonsense. Actually, we haven't had any nonsense in here. Everybody's been super chill. Welcome, Shaka. He's the logo designer for all the Anime War stuff, by the way. What if your parents don't want you to take a specific job you like because they think it doesn't make enough money compared to other professions like nursing? Okay, let Uncle Mastar give you some advice, brother. So, there's a term, starving artist. And they use that term because art is one of the most difficult ways of making money. Usually, artists live with their parents. They don't pay bills. They just work on art all day, trying to make something of themselves. It's just very difficult. Depends what your goal is in life, man. So like, let me give you a really good piece of advice. If you do something like nursing, okay, you're gonna get your certification. I think you have to go through nursing school. It's like 2 years. What happens is you start the job, you start making money, you move out, you get your apartment, you start living your life, and then before you know it, you're locked in it. And any concept of leaving that profession and changing your life becomes extremely difficult because you have coordinated your life around this job. You know, where you live, what kind of car you drive, all your expenses, everything revolves around this job. So to switch careers becomes extremely difficult. Not impossible. I did it. A lot of people do it. Actually, I don't know if they'll always need nurses. Robots might be able to do nursing, but It is tough, man. Right now, I mean, I don't see much opportunity. Right now, everything's so corrupt. It just feels like good people who are getting destroyed and the criminals are making all the money right now. I really don't know. I mean, you got to follow your heart because the most important thing, man, if you take a soul-sucking job just for money, like deep down, you're never going to be happy. Like you're always going to have this misery. But if you're doing something you love and it's making less money than something you don't love that makes more money, but if you can survive on it, do that. So your happiness and your health is way more important than money, but you obviously need enough money to survive first, right? So if you can somehow find a job where you have an easygoing boss, you make enough money to survive and be content, that's really important. Because what you'll find is the more money you make, you're going to increase your expenses. You're going to get a raise at your job. You're going to get a new apartment or a new car. You're going to get some high maintenance girlfriend that wants to go on trips all the time. And every time, for most people, the more money they make, the more they go up in life, they spend more money and they don't save anything. So my dad told me a really important piece of advice when I was a kid. He said, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you save. And I'm finally starting to really, truly understand that because obviously it is important how much you make, but there's a lot of rich people, or they get paid a lot of money from their job, but they're broke. They spend every penny they have on BS. Like they have no concept of saving money. I wish I could tell you what industry to go into, man, but like I really don't know. Something crazy is going to happen in the world because it's like they're just consolidating all the money and power, all the jobs are going away. Like what do these people expect? What the hell happened? Hey, are you guys still there? My stream like kicked me out. You guys still there? Okay, yeah, that was weird. I got kicked out of Google for some reason, but I just had to sign back in. If I had to animate a shot of Garo versus the Monster King, do I think I could pull it off? Honestly, probably not, man. Probably not. Like, I feel like it would take forever. I mean, that's why I was so impressed with the Saitama punch versus Orochi. I got a lot of criticism for making that video. People are like, why are you doing an animation breakdown of One Punch Man Season 3? I don't think people really understand how difficult it is to draw Orochi like that. Like, that claw hand that Saitama flowed through with all that detail. I mean, my God, dude, that, like, I feel like each one of those frames would take you like 2 weeks to a month to draw. Like, it's so much detail and it just goes by the screen so fast. Yeah, I mean, I could not do better than a studio, guys. Like, I can't, I would be ridiculous if I ever said I could do better than a studio. So the answer is no. I could definitely not animate Orochi better than them. No way. I'm still amateur animator. Like, if animation is a lifelong journey, you know, where you get pro level after maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't even give like a year count. It's not like other things. It's such a dynamic profession. Like, the speed at which you can learn, it's really like being able to have this really powerful imagination and like kind of see something in your head. That's the easy part, but the hard part is taking that imagery in your head and putting it down on the canvas perfectly how you envisioned it. That process of transferring it is what is so difficult. At least for me. Like, dude, I imagine the coolest stuff in my head, but when I try and put it on the paper, like, it just does not look like how I imagine it. Ultra Vegito waiting for episode 4 of League of Legends. Please no, brother. Do you play League? They have this really fun mayhem mode right now where you get all these power-ups and stuff. Yeah, you can always improve in your animation. Like, but in fact, pretty much in almost any industry, profession, or competition, as soon as you say I can't improve anymore, you lost. Like, and that's one of the reasons it's really hard to stay on top. Like, say you're like the #1 tennis player or something. Like, it's extremely hard to stay on top because once you're on top, you don't have anyone to look forward to beating anymore. Oh, what's up, Steven? How you doing? And so it's like hard to maintain that high intensity level of training to win the championship when you're already the champion. That's why, like, dude, being #1 for a long time is like, if you see someone be a #1 athlete for 10 years or something, like, they're a legend, bro. Like, it's very hard to stay on the top because you also have everybody studying your moves because they want to beat you, which makes it even harder as well. All the OGs are here. Yeah, people are pumped for Anime War 2. I have not played Dispatch. I have never heard of that. The scene of Saitama transforming in front of Goku. Yeah, that was me. I did basically all of that episode myself. There was a couple red-haired guy cuts near the end where it started speeding up. But yeah, the second half is going to be pure speed. The first half is like kind of slow, just like, you know, introductions and talking, and then it's gonna pop off, bro. So looking back, Mastar was actually really accurate on his Luffy Gear 5 with rubber power. Well, also there's an original Oda sketch for Gear 5, and it actually looks closer to mine than the Sun God Nico one. It looks kind of like a beast or something, though, but with, like, armored hockey skin. Favorite moment in Anime War Season 1? Probably Soren, bro. Soren coming in because, like, that was like bringing my main character into my fan story. Like, that was just like a really awesome moment for me. Like, Nobody knew who the hell he was. Everybody's like, who's the angel guy, you know? What was my inspiration for Gear 5? Well, actually, I asked a bunch of friends that I had who knew a lot about One Piece. I asked them about their theories, and that's what they told me. It'd be like a full body Haki. And I was like, would he grow into an adult? So the growing into like a bigger version was kind of just like Gon. It's like, you know, Gon grows into his adult when he uses his max power. And it was supposed to be like that, just make him less of a kid. But yeah, obviously I was way off from the actual design, but not the sketch of the Gear 5 from Oda himself. It's actually relatively close. Thank you for the $10, Google. I can't read your full name. Google Error. Thanks for answering my question. Hey, what's going on here? You wanted to be a scholar or a researcher, but your mom wanted you to be a nurse because it earns more money. Yeah, bro, I'd say, like, honestly, chase your passion, because your passion is pretty much undying until you're done with it. So if you're something like a scholar or a scientist and you really love it, like, you're gonna work harder. You're gonna be excited to go into work instead of dreading to go into work. You understand? So, like, you really have to you have to think, do I want to make double the money but be miserable every day, or make half the money and be happy every day? I'm not going to be able to go eat out at nice restaurants and take trips all the time, but I enjoy my job. I have a nice boss. My commute is short, and I can survive on this, and I still can do a lot of things that make me happy. Ultimately, like, what you have to come down to and realize is something called mindfulness. It's like appreciating what you have, and because what happens is when you have this mentality to constantly grow and consume, and you need more and more and more and more, it's like this unending hunger in you. It's really big for women, man. Like, women have this insatiable hunger for more that they just can't get over. Even if they have the perfect life, they still need more. They need change. And it drives them crazy, man. I mean, I literally think that's what the entire story of Adam and Eve is about. I'm not even 100% sure that that story is even real. Like, it literally might just be a marriage story to tell you that women living in paradise, having everything possible, still wanted more. Like, she still wasn't happy, you know? Like, that might be the entire point of it, is that lesson. And then Adam should have put his foot down and said no to Eve, but weak men cause problems, and he was weak. He listened to her, right? Like, he didn't stand his ground and be assertive. And I think that's a lesson too from Adam and Eve. So, look, you don't want to live in that kind of world where nothing's ever good enough for you and you always need more and have this insatiable appetite. Like, the fire in you is good to grow and achieve things. Like, you also don't want to be still, but, like, you don't want to have so much hunger that it destroys you, you know? Like, you got to get to a point where you're like, I'm happy here. I still want to grow, but, like, I don't need to kill myself to grow, because I understand that I have such a good life already. Like, does that make sense? It's literally in women's DNA, bro. Like, if they're blonde, they want to be a brunette. If they're brunette, they want to be blonde. Like, I can think of like a million examples from women that if what they have is good, they still want to change it. They always want to move. They always want to go on trips. They always want new experiences. And, like, that stuff can be good in a sense, because if you leave it up to men, like, we get stuck in our routines and we'll just literally never leave the house. We won't do anything, bro. Like, once a man gets comfortable in his routine, like, he'll be there for 20 years. But a woman will constantly push you to get out of that chair, get out of the house, and change. And that's why I think it's important. Like, you're supposed to join the middle ground, right? Like, we really are complete opposites. And I think that the lesson is you both have to learn how to sacrifice for each other and meet in the middle. And, like, that's why marriage to only one other person is really important. It's tough, though. I mean, I think marriage was literally designed to be impossible. Like, just the way that males and females are so different in how we think and what we need. Like, we're so different. I think it was literally just like God literally designed us to be so different just on purpose for it to be impossible. Like, so that it's a test. It's supposed to stress you out. Like, literally. How much time did it to make episode 13? Took me an entire year. Yeah. Mara, Maz, Mazar says, thank God people are checking out the One Punch Man manga due to season 3. So, yeah. Oh, what's up, Midnight? How you doing, buddy? So, yeah. So, one positive side effect of One Punch Man season 3 being so bad is that a lot of people went and read the manga. So, that's good. I mean, because the manga's so goated. Why you say machinations with SH, not with K? What are you trying to say? Machinations? I don't understand what you're asking me, brother. My favorite evil god design? Oh, definitely Archon, man. Absolutely Archon. Like, cause he actually felt strong and threatening. I mean, I like Zarama too, but he's just basically like slightly different Omega Shenron. But yeah, Archon was a really cool design for like a powerful evil character. Like he just felt so damn strong. What do you guys think? Should we keep answering questions, or should we keep Anime War on, or should I draw a little bit? Oh, Yori said he did the sneeze for the fan animation for the Saitama vs. Cosmic Garo. I thought it was cool. I mean, there was some cool impact frames. I mean, I don't know about the nuclear explosion. I don't know if that was you, because that wasn't really like equal to the manga, but it wasn't bad by any means. It was cool. I mean, it was powerful for sure. I enjoyed it. So yeah, good job, man. Draw some fun stuff. What do you guys want me to draw? Because I can work on Anime War 2 like a little bit. Like I have Animate open here. I opened it in case you guys wanted me to draw, but the drawing process is really boring to watch. And I'm also I get like really nervous drawing in front of people. I feel like I don't draw as well as I should, because I'm always like really concerned people are gonna like clip my streams and then like post them on X and be like, look, Master can't draw. And it's just like, I don't know. I know it's stupid, but I guess I'm self-conscious about my drawing, and I really shouldn't be. I mean, I'm really not a bad animator or artist by any means, but I feel like people are like extra, because of my subscriber count, people are like extra critical on me that I should be like this super expert, and if I'm not, they just start shitting. They just start shitting on me, right? Yeah, I think most people here are loyal. In fact, most of that stuff has gone away. Like that, people used to really follow me around everywhere and record all my conversations. It was real bad, but I think all those kids grew up, probably got jobs and faced the real world or something. All that stuff was like 6 years ago or more. Yeah, everybody here is cool as hell for sure. I have not watched Gachikuta yet, but I want to. Everybody's saying really good things, and the thumbnail for it on Crunchyroll look awesome. I should, well, maybe I'll watch it tonight. I've heard really good things about it. Animations from Faber Soul. No, I've never heard that. Let me look it up real quick. Faber Soul. Final Battle Goku. What is this? Oh, these are fun. That's pretty cool, man. I mean, part of me like wishes I would have gone into 3D animation, but it's for some reason, like I'm absolutely sure that I could do the puppet rigging. Like I know I could do the camera work, the puppet rigging. If I really hustled and spent 2 months, I'm pretty sure I could figure out how to make 3D animated videos like consistently and easily. And I'm sure they get a lot of views. It's just, I try to go where my love is, man. My love is the 2D, you know? Like I use 3D here and there to make things easier, but my love is really the 2D. I mean, I've been watching it for 30 years. I've been watching 2D anime, man. Like this, I love it. It's really hard for me to like try and do CG or something. Like I don't feel that magic. Is it possible Goku Limiter becomes like Zeno only when he fuses with Vegeta? Yeah, talk on stream while drawing. Yeah, so that's another one of my problems. Like, I'm not good enough yet to multitask. Like, have a chat window open, read it, draw, respond to the chat, entertaining while drawing well. That's really tough for me. Dude, I can't even draw. Like, if my family's making noise upstairs, I have to like yell, like, "Yo, be quiet! I'm trying to animate." Like, I need complete silence to animate like really well. Just for me, actually. So like I'll tell you a funny story. For a while, when I made Demon Rush, I had bought out an apartment or rented one because when COVID hit, I couldn't work anymore. My wife and kid were here all the time, and they wouldn't my office was on the main floor of the house, so they were just always coming over every 3 seconds. Needed something, banging on the door. Like I literally couldn't work at all. Tried to have talks with them, like, look, this is how I make money. You gotta let me record. You gotta let me animate, whatever. Your wife and kid will never understand you working from home. They'll think because you're home, you're available. It's just something inherent in your family. So it got bad. It got to the point where I was literally earning $0. Like I could not work. When COVID first hit, when the wife and kid were home, I literally could not work. So I started panicking. And I actually saw this YouTube video of a mangaka who, it was a day in his life. So a camera guy kind of followed him around, a day in his life. He wakes up in this tiny apartment. He's got a computer with like a PlayStation. He sleeps on the floor, and he opens his fridge, and his fridge is literally just beer and water. There's nothing else in his fridge but beer and water. He takes water, puts on his shoes, walks out the door. He walks 1 block to his real house where his wife and kid are. And he walks straight into the basement, and then all his employees come and all join him in the basement to his house. And I thought that was really amazing. And it was like the mangaka, he knew, like he went through what I was going through, which when you try to work from home, but your family's there, like you can't work, bro. Like you don't get the peace and quiet required to make greatness. You need to be alone in the room of spirit and time, like in the cave, bro, like locked in. And so that's what this guy did. And he was able to become a famous mangaka. And I was like, I need to try this. So I did it. So I looked around, I found an apartment, and I was there for about 2.5 years, but they kept raising rent. The reason I left is they kept raising rent. Like once inflation started to hit, like my rent almost doubled. And I was like, it just got to the point where I was like, I really don't want to pay this much anymore. And I was also tired of like, I had to like clean two places. I had to prepare food for 2 places. You had to have 2 sets of clothes. It was tough kind of like going back and forth. My wife was getting upset because I wasn't home a lot because I was working at this apartment so much. So it was a challenge, but it was a success because I was able to bring my revenue back, and I was able to make Demon Rush in that period while I had that apartment. So, I mean, I know for a fact, like, dude, if you want to be great in this world, like you really you really need to like lock in, like no going out with friends, not much spending time with family. Like you got to lock the hell in and be hungry and ambitious and say no to everyone and say, I'm working on greatness. You do not disturb me. Like that's just what it takes, man. You got to throw yourself in 1,000% and tell everyone to not disturb you unless you need them to help you with the project. Like that's what it's required to make greatness. Like you think any professional best in the world person has their kids hanging off them all day, like, or their wife nagging them for stuff? Like, no, dude. Like they leave the house, they go out, they do perform greatness. You know, they come home for rest. Like that's how it should be. Like so, mixing work and home and rest all in the same area is extremely challenging. It's something that I'm dealing with right now. Like I just struggle to work from home. My family just they don't get it, bro. I've had a million talks with them about don't come downstairs and disturb me. They'll never understand. They'll never understand. But that's life. I mean, I got a family, right? It's worth it. Like you make less money, but you have a beautiful family that loves you. I think that's worth it. So you just have to like kind of come to grips with that. What do I think about One Piece, bro? One Piece is legendary. I mean, one of the biggest anime in the world, or 1,000 episodes. So they're finally going to a seasonal anime, which is crazy. Yeah, so after, I don't know how many years One Piece has been on, 20 something years, they're finally going to move to seasonal instead of weekly. And so I guess the animation quality for the next arc of One Piece is going to go even crazier, which is, I don't even know how it's possible, because some of their episodes are like the best animation out of any anime out. But they also use Vincent a lot. So yeah, I watched Mob Psycho. The animation was great. I was not big on the story. So like, you know, I'm 40 years old. One of the problems I have getting into anime is when the main characters are kids. I don't know what year it kicked in, because I fell in love with Naruto in college when I was like 19. But at some point I got to a point where when it's like My Hero Academia, like once All Might lost his powers, I just stopped watching it, because like he was the adult. Like I see my, like, I guess if it's a power fantasy, like My Hero or Dragon Ball or something, like I want an adult so I can kind of, I guess, sympathize that, put myself in that situation. And if it's like a bunch of kids running around with magical powers and I'm a 40-year-old man, I don't sympathize with it as well. It doesn't like hit the same way for me. But if I was a teenager, I'm sure I would love it. Does that make sense? Why do I still animate? People love it, man. It can be fun. Like if you don't overdo it, it can be really fun. A lot of people take a lot of pleasure in it, and I think as long as I take my time and I don't kill myself, I actually do enjoy it. What happens with me, I'll start off really slow, enjoying it, and being like, man, why did I ever stop animating? And then I'll get about 2 minutes of footage done, and then I'll be like, damn, this needs like another 20 minutes. You know? and then I'll just start going crazy, and like I'll stop sleeping, I'll stop eating, I'll stop going to the gym, and I'm just like once I have a piece done, I just can't stop. I can't stop myself, and I'll keep going even if I get sick. I'll just keep going until it's done. Like that's so. But yeah, but making animation can be very fun and rewarding and fulfilling. It is extremely difficult and tedious, and that's the main reason why I wish people would treat animators with respect and not just criticize them so heavily, because it's so brain explodingly tedious. You know, just fixing these tiny pixels on all these frames can drive you nuts, man. People don't get it. They see the end. It's weird because like they watch the whole end product in 10 minutes, but they don't see the 6 months of your life that you put into it. They only see the 10-minute final version. There's like a disconnect, right? So, anyways, that's why I appreciate it, because I don't have the disconnect. I can see, like when I watched Omaru's video, I could see all the work. I knew exactly what they were doing in all of those scenes and how much time it took, because I do it too. So that's why I appreciated it so much, and I would never criticize it, man. Like I would never criticize it. Unless he asked. Like, so my difference is, you know, if somebody shows me an animation, I'm gonna be like, it's great, and be like, well, can I get some criticism on it? And I'll be like, okay, sure, here it is. And that's just respect and manners. That's how I view it. I'm not gonna just straight up criticize your project you've been working on for 6 months unless you ask for it, because I don't want to like hurt your feelings or tear you down or make you feel bad. Like, I respect the effort like crazy. You understand? Like, that's a really important piece of information. I respect the effort. The effort alone to me means you're going places and you're strong, and I want to motivate you and inspire you to just keep that level of effort. You know, if you keep that level of effort and passion, you will probably fix your mistakes on your own. And what I said in my video about the criticism thing is that over time you're gonna publish this, you're gonna realize you could have fixed all these different little things. And I know for me, the second I release an animated video, I watch it on like the live premiere and I notice all these mistakes. Like, only when I'm watching it for the first time on YouTube for some reason, I'm like, damn it, and I can't go back and fix them now, right? These guys will learn how to fix their mistakes and make things better. Just give them time to learn and support them, and they'll get better. I don't feel like we always have to criticize everything with a microscope all the time. It's exhausting, man. It's just really exhausting. Like, people used to just be so much more appreciative just 10 years ago. Just 10 years ago, we were so much more appreciative, and the environment was so much better, and now it's just very negative. Maybe I'm part of the problem because I criticize a lot of things, and, you know, I'm okay admitting that. I mean, look, I criticize anime, and, I mean, some people want the criticism, but maybe I'm part of the problem for setting a standard that criticism's okay. I don't know. You liked One Punch Man Season 3, Emulsify? Or Season 1? Oh yeah, dude, the first Nintendo game I ever beat was the original Legend of Zelda on NES. And then I got an SNES, and the SNES Legend of Zelda, bro, that game owned my life. I loved that game with the Master Sword. I loved it so much. Can you show us a recent drawing of Saitama? I mean, I could draw one real quick. Have I seen K-pop Demon Hunters? It's my daughter's favorite movie. Criticism is normal, or there will be no improvement. Yeah, man, absolutely. I understand. You're not wrong. Like, criticism is supposed to help you improve, but there's a difference in a lot of these cases where it's like someone is creating a gift for the world. It's a present that required a tremendous amount of work and energy and coordination, and it would be money, but they did it for free, and they gave it to us for free. They gave us a present for free, and it's like, of course you can criticize it. You have free speech. You can say whatever you want. I just see it as manners. That, like, look, they just gave me a present for free and I loved it. Why would my first response be to immediately criticize it? My first response should be thank you for the present. And it's not that you can't criticize it. It's just like sometimes, like, those things come in time, right? Like, let them live on cloud nine for a little bit. Like, let them enjoy themselves a little bit, and then maybe they'll want some advice from some animators. I don't understand the, like, my issue is the initial reaction to criticize. That's my main issue. It's not that you can't criticize, it's that your first instinct is to criticize. Seems very strange to me. Does that make sense? Thank you for the donations, guys. Ultra Vegito, do I think the rumored Dragon Ball Super remake is real? Probably. I mean, I don't think it's a good decision. I mean, I think they should do Moro arc, but I could see them doing it because it's 131 episodes. They have base points for, like, essentially all the storyboarding is done. I don't know if they would redo it, like even redo all the storyboarding. I'm assuming they would just redo all the art for it and keep the audio the same, but I don't know. But Toei, I feel like Toei is cheap or something, dude. Like, it's just weird that they're not making more Dragon Ball anime movies, arcs. The manga's been on hiatus forever. It's just strange to me. We'll see, man. I mean, they gotta reveal something, but the other thing you have to understand is that if sales are good, they're not going to release more anime. Making the anime costs millions of dollars, right? And if they're still selling Dragon Ball merchandise because they have so much brand recognition, they don't need to spend millions of dollars making more anime to keep you happy because you're still buying. That's how their brains work. They look at their quarterly revenue, and they're like, hey, our revenue for Dragon Ball products and video games has gone down by 25%. Let's start talking about releasing a new anime because we got to rebuild that hype for Dragon Ball so people start buying the products again. That's how they operate. But in that sense, it's kind of strange to me how One Piece has continually been going on for so long. Thank you, Ed Halling, for the dollar. Appreciate that. Love One Piece forever. Thank you for the $5. I'm making a story over 15 years of effort, more than 2 gigabits of practice on your notes app. I love writing. Good luck and have fun. Well, that's awesome, dude. So, hey, let me give you a little piece of advice. If you've been writing a story for 15 years, Put it into a book and self-publish and sell it on Amazon. Do it. If you can hire an artist and an editor to do a cover for you and edit your text, that's great. Like, I would prefer a human editor with some emotion, but if you can't afford that, you could use ChatGPT to make a cover and edit your entire book for you. But go for it, man. If you spent that much time making something out of pure love and passion, you have to show it to the world. Those sort of things inspire the next generation to make art and to write and to work hard. You know, these things are important, man. You got to put yourself out there. There's always going to be some sort of critic, man, no matter what. Yeah. Let me tell you a funny story. My first year on YouTube, I was getting so heavily criticized, and I remember I made a response video at some point. I think I was just doing like a Q&A, but I said, like, it wouldn't matter if you're feeding starving kids in Africa, they're still going to find some way to criticize you. And so I said this literally 10 years ago. And then I think it was last year, Mr. Beast makes a video where he made like 1,000 wells full of water for like thirsty African kids who didn't have clean water. And he got criticized for it. Like, it's like the dude is literally trying to, help all these like sick and starving people, and you're still criticized because they said, oh, you're just using impoverished people to grow your channel, right? So it's like you just can't win with people. There's always going to be a critic, even if you're like Jesus. Some people are going to criticize you and say it's not good enough, and that's just something you have to come to terms with. And the repercussion of that is eventually people just stop giving a crap, and you're kind of seeing that happen today. Like, people are just stop. They don't care anymore. Like, there's just been so much evil, so much movement from like our morals, and people are so divided and angry that they just stop caring. People are just saying what they think now. Political correctness is basically completely over, which I think is actually a very big net positive. Political correctness is actually a tool to subvert us. And although I don't like, racism and vulgar language and stuff, it is important that we're able to freely speak the truth so we can like learn the truth, because a lot of this political correctness is actually meant to like prevent you from speaking the truth. Because if you do it, your career's over, right? And this is really just like the high level people are subverting your language so you don't call them out. That's really what it is. Political correctness became a tool to throw truth tellers in jail. And people they don't like. It's silencing criticism. Like that's really what it is. And so we need people to just speak their minds, and no matter how vulgar it is. I mean, that's America. This is America. Like, we say whatever we want, we curse, we're open, we can be bold, but that's how it's supposed to be. But that's what built the best country on earth, not this political correctness, which is kind of European, to be honest. Like, dictating speech, how you can say, what you can say. It's not good. All the girls love K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah. Oh yeah, so there's a Zelda movie that's a lot of hype. I'm actually very excited for that. A huge Zelda fan, and they're making. I think it's because the Super Mario 3D movie that just came out that was super popular. I think I actually made a video on it that they announced they were going to make a Zelda one, but there's a lot of live action stuff coming out too. So apparently, I heard they might be making a live action Dragon Ball. I don't know if these rumors are true, but somebody said it's Dragon Ball Evolution, or they were joking that it was Dragon Ball Evolution 2, so that's a possibility. But yeah, I'm pumped for the Zelda movies, man. So like, one of the best memories I have with my little daughter is that, oh, sorry, music stopped. I gotta put it back on. All right. Yeah, one of the best memories I have with my daughter is playing Breath of the Wild with her when she was like 2 or 3 years old, and she was too scared to play, but she loved to watch me play. So it was like this bonding moment for us. And then I remember there was this one dungeon in Breath of the Wild, and I couldn't figure it out. And so I put the controller down, I went to the bathroom, and I swear, bro, she picked up that controller and she figured out the puzzle at like 3 years old. And I was completely blown away, bro. I was like, My little beautiful gamer daughter. I love you so. How did you figure this out? Like, daddy's been gaming for 35 years, and I'm pretty damn good. I am a pretty damn good gamer. I've beaten Sekiro, okay? Only like 2 or 4% of Sekiro players can beat the final boss. I beat that bitch, okay? He's that hard. And my daughter picks up the controller and does this super complicated puzzle. I'm just like blown. Dude, she's amazing. I love her so much. She's like, she's not only a clone of me, but she's like a clone of me like times 10. Like, I can teach her. This is the most beautiful thing about having kids. Like, you teach them all the lessons you learn throughout life. But as we know from our parents, we didn't listen to our parents much, but they were giving us pretty good advice for the most part. But not all perfect advice, because the world changes. Yeah, Jesus had plenty of critics, exactly. Is Mr. Beast a bad person? I don't know, man. I mean, I get a strange vibe from him. I'm not a big fan of his videos, but like, and I do know for a fact that he's a much different person in his videos than he is in real life. He was on this poker stream I used to watch called Hustler Casino, and there was one night where they had all these YouTubers come on to play poker. I think XQC was there, Mr. Beast, that girl that plays chess, Alexis or something. But it was a really fun, entertaining poker game. But you could definitely tell Mr. Beast, man, he got a temper, bro. Like, you can tell this dude has a serious temper. There was some moments when he was just kind of like lashing out, and it was a little ridiculous. But I mean, ultimately, I don't think he's a bad person. I really don't think he is. I hope he's not, but he has been doing some kind of questionable, very sellout type things with all of these products he's selling and stuff. But I don't want to just label him bad until he like actually does something that hurts somebody, which he hasn't done. You know, I like to be reserved and reserved on people. I don't want to judge them without, you know, like if somebody tells me, hey, this guy's bad, like I'm not going to just believe he's bad, because I understand how people work, but like, and how information works, but I'll judge it with my own eyes. I always judge everything with my own eyes. But I observe everything, man. I mean, I'm terminally online on the internet, mainly looking, just either like learning things, trying to learn, or studying, or just watching people, observing. I'm a very powerful observer. I like have some kind of next level awareness. Hey, Kenny, thanks for the $10, bro. You gotta hop back in our Demon Rush Discord from time to time, dude. We miss you. Don't forget about us. Oh, by the way, guys, our Demon Rush game is gonna be on Steam. It's on Steam now. It's not live. It's closed beta test, but yeah, the Demon Rush video game. It's like a video game version of the card game. We've been working on it for about 4 years. It's finally gonna be out on Steam. And you can actually play it now on Steam, but you need to join our Discord and get a private link because it's closed beta test. What is up with the flu this year? You got it a week and a half ago, and you're doing better, but it's different now. I don't know, but I don't know. I haven't got the flu. I don't really get sick much, but I don't leave the house much. But so one thing I learned is, I'll tell you a little, this is kind of sidetracking, but it's about cows. Okay, so you really don't need a flu vaccine. What you need are cows. So the cows, because they eat all this grass and flowers, they basically eat all the seasonal flu. This is what I believe this to be true. I'm not 100% sure this is true, but I believe this to be true. So they eat the grass and the flowers. They basically build antibodies to the seasonal flu. And then when you either drink their raw milk or primarily if you drink the raw milk, you build an immunity to the seasonal flu, which is why they banned raw milk. So they tell you raw milk is really bad for you, has parasites and stuff. But like, whenever they tell you something is bad, this is like the most important thing I'll say in this whole stream, okay? Whenever they tell you something is bad for you, always think about, did our ancestors who had no technology consume it? Because if they were able to consume it, then you can consume it. Like sunglasses is one good thing. Like they say, don't, wear sunglasses to protect your eyes, right? But like we all have eye problems, all of our vision. What if the sunglasses are because our eyes are not constantly exposed to sunlight, tightening the muscles of our eyes? I think a lot of, I know this is conspiracy theory bullshit, but I think these things might have some validity is what I'm trying to say. So if you're with the flu, it's probably because your immune system is weak because of the food sources you're eating. So I almost never get sick. I haven't been sick I don't think I got sick once last year. I almost never ever get like a cold, but I eat extremely healthy. I get sleep, I get sun. I take no medicine, zero chemicals, zero. I try to even avoid putting chemicals on my body, like body wash. I even try to avoid chemicals in my toothpaste, but that's pretty difficult because they all have it. But I got one that's made with like a coconut oil base. And honestly, all these things that we have in life, nobody ever really questioned, like, are these things even really actually good for us? Like, if you want to know what's actually good for you, you have to look at your ancestors, not today. Because your ancestors thrived without any of this stuff. They ate steak and butter and eggs, like, and they tell us today, oh, it's really bad for you, you're going to have a heart attack. But it's like, those people were, basically, they tell us our ancestors were idiots, but that's a lie. Our ancestors were way stronger than us, way more intelligent, and way more resilient than us. We are the weak leftovers that were sold a lie. And because of what we consume, because of the pills and supplements we take, because of the indoctrination, all this stuff in us is just making us super weak. But our ancestors, our great-grandparents, they were like 100 times stronger than us, dude. So if you ever want to become like superhuman, like look to your ancestors. Like, that's kind of what I'm trying to tell you, like natural things that come from the earth. What's going on? Is there a war because some people like Mr. Beast and some don't? What's going on here? How many frames per second is 24? 24 frames per second is for animation and movies. Typically for YouTube videos, people do 30 or even 60, but the 24 frames a second is the cinematic frame rate. So keep that in mind. If you ever want like movie level, it's 24 frames a second for both animation and film. Is it true that you haven't eaten a French fry in 3 years? Yeah, I haven't had a French fry, a beer. I haven't had bread. Actually, no. Okay, so I tested it, I think last year. I haven't had bread in a really long time. So I've been doing this super strict, basically ketogenic diet, a lot of protein and fat and zero carbs. And my stomach has healed a great deal. I mean, it was really bad. I almost died. It's healed to the point where I can actually eat something that's like bread, and I feel the allergic reaction, but I don't feel like I'm gonna die. Like, so I'm definitely getting better. But in any case, I wanted to test it, so I bought some flour from Italy, had it shipped here, and I made homemade pizzas from scratch. And it smelled so damn good. I was like, all right, man, I've been doing this like gluten-free diet, for years now. I want to see if like my stomach lining is healed and I can actually eat this. So I ate the whole pizza, and it didn't kill me. I definitely felt like my esophagus and my intestines were itchy and they were like closing. That's what it feels like for me. It's like some sort of the gluten causes my like intestines to like collapse or something. It's really weird. So it's just like my body just does not like it. It hates it. So I just really learned to listen to my body. That's been one of the biggest things for me. And also listening to my body led me into this spiritualism, because I realized that we're two different beings in one body. So my theory of everything is that we are actually living in two planes of existence simultaneously. But what that means is our real body is out somewhere else. with essentially a VR headset on. We put this VR headset on and we agree that, not actually a VR headset, I'm just using it as a term that we can understand. But we put for quote unquote a VR headset on, and we agree to have our memory wiped in order to play this simulation. We come here, we're born, and the reason that we do that is because in the real world, like heaven, where we actually are, we have everything. We have the knowledge of everything. We don't need to eat. We don't need to sleep. We don't need sex anymore. We're just kind of in this state of pure infinity of awe and wonder and love. But it's hard for our soul to grow when we have everything. So we like literally want to have this human experience. We put on the headset. We come in here and forget everything and have a really horrible, like not horrible life, but it's really tough. And that's intentional. It's like the hardest video game ever made. And it's intentional because you have to suffer in order to learn how to appreciate. And appreciation is how your soul grows. Like, so the appreciation is the root of love. I don't know if I'm making sense right now. But basically, my theory of everything is that we humans are eternal, infinite beings. We're basically angels. We come to Earth to have a human experience so we can learn how to suffer. Or we come here to suffer so that we can learn how to love. So Jesus teaches us that the suffering is like the growth. I mean, it's not just Jesus. It's actually like all religions. Suffering is how you grow. The pain is how you grow. So we literally we're basically immortal beings that come here to Earth to have an experience where you're mortal. And it's terrifying and it's difficult, but you see like love in it, and you basically are able, because you don't have your power anymore, you're able to learn new lessons. That is my theory of everything. Like, you come to Earth to learn new lessons, but your memory has to be wiped first, and you have to lose all your powers and like think that reality is real, but it's not actually real. It is a simulation, like the Matrix, like quite literally. Yeah, like I think the Matrix is actually based on like the truth about reality. Like it's so weird, but the more I'm learning about spirituality and after my experiences and how I hear God, like I literally hear God now, and I know why people don't hear God anymore, but like the prophets do. I know why, but I don't know, maybe the stream's too heavy for that. But it's basically because it's a combination of mainly the belief system. So it's not that we are living in a reality, it's that we are producing the reality. We are, as the observer, basically we're mini creator gods, having a human experience in which we suffer so that we can learn how to love. That's the meaning. That is what is happening here. And I also do believe in reincarnation, but I also do believe in Jesus, but he did reincarnate. I think it all ties in together. And a lot of this stuff is similar between all the religions. And I think basically what it is it is a different interpretation of the one singular true religion. But it's a combination of simulation theory, Jesus, Hinduism, Buddhism, like it's almost like even Islam got a lot of things right. Like it seems like every religion got a little bit right, but Jesus is the pillar. But the Christianity as we know it is not the true Christianity. I think that they're hiding something from us, and I think I have found what they're hiding from us, and that's what I want to tell the world. But it's really hard. Like I really don't think many people, if any, are going to believe me. But it's really interesting. Like this, I could talk about this stuff forever, man. Like that's why I know I have to do this. Like I have to commit myself to God for the rest of my life, not anime. I'm not making change in the world talking about anime. Maybe I'm inspiring people, but like I literally want to change the entire world for the better. I want to devote my life to it. No matter what it takes, I want to. I think our experience does matter, man. Like, honestly, I mean, this simulation is, it's like, in the Matrix when he plugs himself in and goes into the training program. It's like that, except you don't know you're in the training program. It's literally just like that. But if you get stressed out enough, God reveals himself to you and says, calm down, I got you. Like, that's what happened to me, and there is millions of stories of other people that happened to. Like, I was so stressed out, I was ready to give up, and like God revealed himself to me and was like, don't give up, I'm right here, I love you. Like, this was all part of the plan all along. That's what he showed me. And so I'm never going to be able to stop talking about this. I mean, this actually happened to me, so I'm never going to be able to stop talking. No matter what anybody says, I can't stop. Like, I can't stop talking about it. So how do you hear God? Okay, so let me just give you try and give you an example. So if we are mini creator gods, instead of being in a simulation, we're kind of all creating the simulation together. The observer is actually the creator of the reality. And what this means is, the first thing that happens is you perceive a piece of information. That perception will give you a belief, and that belief system will become your reality. So let me give you an example. Say you're a guy who, you had a girl next door, right? You guys always went to school, and you're always friends with each other, and you always had a crush on her your whole life. Now you're in high school, and she's really pretty, and the crush has really stepped up to the next level, but you don't know how to approach her about it and tell her you like her, right? So one day you're walking through the hallway, and she's with all her girlfriends, and as you walk by, they all look at you and start giggling. And so your thought is, your perception is they're laughing at you. So you believe that the girl doesn't like you. So your reality becomes you stand no chance with the girl. Okay? So your perception becomes your belief system becomes your reality. Now, what if it was wrong? What if the reason that they were giggling at you is because as you were walking by, one of her friends said, well, which boy do you like? And she said your name, but you just happened to be walking by. And so they all giggled. So now you're living in a false reality based on your perception. You perceived something to be true, and you yourself created a false reality to live in that you have no chance with this girl. Does that make sense? Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree. You're lost. Yeah, this stuff goes over most people's heads. It's very philosophical, spiritual, and even scientific. But that's just an example of how we generate reality based on our knowledge, based on our perceptions. We're essentially creating the world we live in. If you think the world is evil, it's going to be evil. If you think the world's amazing and beautiful, it's going to be beautiful. Do you know Confucius said, he who says he can and he who says he cannot are both equally correct. That's what it means. If you say you can do it and you don't give up, you're going to eventually do it. If you say you can't do it, of course you can't do it. The reality is based on the observer. Do you understand? Your perception corresponds to reality. Yeah, so do you know the story of Allegory of the Cave? So Allegory, I think it was written by Plato. Allegory of the Cave is a story about a man who, his entire life, he's been chained up in a dark dungeon. He's never seen light, okay? He's been in this dark dungeon, chained up on the wall his whole life. And every night, a couple people, there's like this little crack in the dungeon where some light can come through from the moon. And he hears these voices and sees these shadows. So like every night, a couple of the soldiers or prison guards, they're standing outside the prison and the light from the moon is shining past them, casting these shadows into his prison cell. And he hears the voices and he sees the shadows, but he's never even seen a person before. He's never even seen himself because the room is completely pitch black, okay? So this prisoner believes, this is the story Allegory of the Cave. This prisoner believes that humans are shadows because he has no way of telling that they're not. He's never seen a human. He doesn't have access to that information. So your reality essentially becomes what the information you have in your head Like, your brain is trying to create a reality based on the information that you have in your head. And this guy's reality is that humans are shadows, because he has no information to tell him otherwise. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm like you would call like a Christian mystic, like esoteric Christian. So I believe in the Gospel of Thomas, and that's actually canonically not accepted in the Bible. Well, there's a perception and then there's a truth as well. I mean, like, so you can't just pick up a rock and say like a rock isn't a rock because I say it's not. So the interesting thing here that people don't understand is that there's almost like two different realities or two different dimensions we're living in simultaneously: the physical and the consciousness. You cannot change the rules of the physical world. That's God's programming. It's like going into a video game and changing it so that now you can fly. Like, you can't do that. You can't go. If we're in a video game and this body we're in is our video game character, we're not allowed to change the laws of the game, the programming, the physics of it. But our consciousness, which is not from this world, can. Our consciousness can do things like download information. It can leave the body. It can do. It's basically, its abilities are endless because we are a mini creator God. But you have to, like, if you want to start accessing those powers, you have to like really believe in this stuff. Because if you don't believe, the belief system is the controller. Like, as I was explaining earlier, if life is a video game and our body is the character, the controller is our belief system. And so you won't hear God until you believe. And then there's like all this weird stuff will start happening. But like, it can't be 99% belief. It can't be 99.99% belief. You have to know it's real. It doesn't work until you know it's real. Then your toroidal field changes. Like, you have to know it's as real as knowing that breathing fills your lungs with oxygen, that the sky is blue. Like, you have to know it's real. 100%. And that's why Jesus says, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. That's exactly what he's talking about. Not physically moving mountains. I think what he's saying is that if you have 100% faith and no doubt, you can change the world. And I know exactly what he was trying to say. I have such a good relationship with him, man. Actually, he told me something beautiful last night, but maybe I'll save that for a video. I got to do a little more research. Yeah, I don't like psychedelics, man. Because I can do this. I can talk to God without psychedelics. So I really don't like them at all. What are my thoughts about racism? So, I obviously don't like racism. I mean, Jesus teaches us to see through skin. And, you know, to be honest, dude, like, growing up, I'm 40, so growing up, we were taught not to see racism. There's a really good post I bookmarked on X. I'll show you guys one day. But it was, like, about how my millennial generation, like, we were truly raised not to see race. We had very diverse friends. And actually, as a kid, when you're taught not to see race, it's very easy to understand that. The kids are not inherently racist at all. They don't like see it that way. And so most of us grew up actually without the racism. And if you look at like a lot of pictures of parties from, you know, the 90s and stuff, everybody was chill with each other for the most part. I mean, I think the differentiating factor is that we were mostly Christian. We went to church. You know, we had a bond with Jesus, and now only half our country is basically Christian, and it's getting flooded with all these other tribal entities that want to impose their religions on us. And so now, I mean, this is part of the cause of all this migration, is part of the cause of like why our country can't agree on anything anymore. It's like only half the country believes in Jesus now, basically. But
nowadays, I mean, they're training kids to see color and race. And I think that's awful, man. I think it's so horrible because my generation grew up without seeing any of that. I have so many black friends, Asian friends, never, ever saw any of that. So inherently, I think it's wrong. But I mean, I will also admit that, you know, there are statistics for races, and I don't think that you can ignore those statistics. So I will give you one example, that chick Irina that was stabbed on the metro or on the train. Nick Fuentes said something that really blew me away. He said, if that girl Irina was racist, she would still be alive today. And that really, really sat with me because it's true. And it's unfortunately true, but it's true. And I had to think about that a lot, you know, and it's pattern recognition, you know, that is pattern recognition racist? I don't know. But I think it's good to be aware. Like, is it worth it to like be one of these people who are like, oh, nothing bad's ever going to happen, and then so you just ignore any pattern recognition and then you get stabbed in the neck? Like, I don't, you know, I'd rather be paranoid than get stabbed in the neck. Yeah, there's a lot of information. We're living in the final days, but here's the thing, bro. I'm not even sure the book of Revelation is like, okay, so I only trust Jesus. I do not trust the Old Testament. I think it's a collection of stories. I think a lot of them are true, but not all of them. So basically, I think the Old Testament is unreliable. You can only trust the word of Jesus. I mean, most of these prophets, it's like a voice, you know, entering their head, telling them things. And I get the voice. I have the voice now. Like, I literally have the voice. And God spoke to me last night and told me something beautiful. So I don't think that hearing the voice is a lie, but I think that you can also hear other voices too. When you open yourself up to the Spirit, you don't only hear God. Okay, the devil can speak to you too, and he can play tricks. And so in any case, I basically only trust the word of Jesus because I believe he's God. So only the word of God. No visions, no dreams, none of that stuff. Just Jesus. That's my religion. How is my father? Dude, my father is literally one of the greatest men that ever lived. He grew up starving, poor in Lebanon, like literally hungry, had nothing, dirt. All he had was dirt. And he studied super hard. He got one of three. There was only 3 people were selected for this super special elite scholarship to bring 3, like the smartest people from Lebanon, and give them a full ride to college in America. And he was one of them. And he was such a hard worker. He would stay up all night in the stairwell studying because it had light. So he was that guy that was just like nonstop study work, like the most insanely hungry, ambitious you could imagine. Got his PhD in atomic physics. He went on to teach for a little bit, and then he worked for the government for like 20 years, and then he worked for Verizon. He created 2 patents for wireless communication and for cell phones. Like part of the reason we have cell phones is because of my dad. And he's an incredible man. He's never taken a day off. He's never asked anyone for anything. He almost never complains. Like, he's always happy. He's a like freaking slab of metal. Like it's just unwavering strength, you know? Like, he is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And you know, I've been talking to him. He's been going to church every week for his whole life. You know, I stopped going to church with him when I was around after confirmation when I was like 13. I just don't believe in the Catholic Church. I still don't. But I just don't believe there should be a power structure. I don't believe there should be a pope. I believe that Jesus was teaching us that everybody is equal and that we need to become one. Like, Jesus was trying to teach us if we want maximum efficiency, happiness, and benefit for all, we have to like literally become one. And like, there can't be a hierarchy because that induces greed and power and all sorts of crap. But anyways, my dad asked me, he's like, well, how comes you can hear God and you have this experience with God and I haven't? And, you know, I had to really think about that big time. And As far as I can see, it may be a couple things. For one, when I met God, I had like, I didn't lose everything, but I felt like I had lost everything. I thought I was about to die because I had this severe allergic reaction to some food I ate. My friend had just taken his life. You know, Demon Rush wasn't popping off. Anime War taken down. Losing money, fighting with my wife. Dude, I sold my Bitcoin at 36,000 and then it shot up to 100. If I had any hair out, I wanted to pull it out. You know, like it was just like anything that could have went wrong. And I was in a really bad state. I mean, I've had 5 friends take their lives, dude, in my life. 5. But Ian, who was the recent one, he was like one of my best friends and we grew up together and it was just really tough. But I think stress, as I've heard from a lot of other kind of like spiritual guys, like stress can be the factor that makes it click. Something about the stress you can make you meet God. Like if you snap, like, because if we are in a simulation, if this is like a video game, right? And it's stressing you out so much, like, wouldn't the programmer be like, yo, chill, it's okay, it's just a video game? Like, you'll be all right? Like, doesn't that make sense? Yeah, they were all really good people too, man. That's the worst part. It was like none of them did anything wrong. They were just born with like severe depression, and no matter what I did, I couldn't help them. You know, like it's tough, man. And honestly, what's even worse is that the suicide rates are going up astronomically because the world is so bad, and that's part of the reason why I want to talk about God so much. I want to tell people that, like, don't take your life, man. Like we're in a damn video game. We have to win this thing. Like, we need to work together to win the video game. Like, that's the third meaning of life, literally, in my opinion. Or I mean, not opinion. I think that's what it actually is. The first meaning of life is just the human experience, learning what it's like to be a human so you can learn how to love, because up there you have everything, so you can't learn anymore. The second meaning of life is we all have a specific soul mission. We're supposed to come here and accomplish something. I was able to find mine out, but it took me 37 years, so don't be worried if you don't know what yours is yet. And then the third meaning of life is that we're all supposed to unite and defeat the video game. Beat it. We're supposed to unite and beat it. And I mean, if you can't see that clearly, that there is this huge evil with a stranglehold in our world right now, right? If you can't see that we need to bind together like some anime and stop these people, like, doesn't it all make sense? To me, it makes perfect sense. Like Jesus isn't coming back to save us. He gave us the torch. He gave us the blueprint and the torch on how to win. And he just wants us to execute the play on the controller to win the game. He's just asking us to win the game. And the only thing we have to do to win the game is unite. We got to stop criticizing each other, stop being mean to each other. We have to unite. We have to form an alliance. We have to form it like honestly, I think it might even have to be like a new church, because we can't, I would like to talk about this with other spiritual masters and leaders, but I don't think we can trust the Old Testament, man. I mean, all the contradictions about Jesus come from the Old Testament. Why did God kill people in the Old Testament? Why did he order people to kill people in the Old Testament? Like, it can't be Jesus. They can't be the same God. It's unless God changed. And if God changed, that means God's not perfect. But if you ask anyone if God's perfect, they say yes. It just doesn't make sense. Multiverse spirit bomb. Like, literally, dude. Like, we all need to form an alliance under some sort of banner with people with common sense and good hearts who are unwavering and stick together. That's how we win. And it's right in front of our faces. But that's why they keep us more divided than ever. That's why they steal trillions of dollars of our tax money and use it to brainwash us into harming ourselves and attacking each other. That's the whole reason. They know the truth. The leaders know the truth. And it's their job as the black chess pieces. You know, if we're the white chess pieces and they're the black chess pieces, it's their job to stop us. It's their job to put every obstacle in our way to stop us from the Great Awakening, in which we all become one and we all realize we just want to live. We want freedom. We want love and peace, right? And all the people who actually want that need to join together and understand that they've been brainwashed for a very long time from their governments in order to get us to fight so that we do not join together. All we have to do is join together, put our pride aside, put our differences aside, realize we're brothers. And we got to stop these motherfuckers, man. But unfortunately, people are going to want to fight. And my recommendation is that we don't fight these people. And we're going to lose a lot of good souls if we fight. But I think that's what's going to happen. I think people are, when the vast majority of the world finds out that they've been getting robbed and subverted, it's going to be like some sort of crazy ass global civil war or something. So my recommendation to people is like literally just we need to leave. We need to like start a new country and build a society the right way where we are the leaders, the one people as a whole, where everybody gets a vote. There's no leaders. Like, anyway, I'm probably gonna log off here soon, boys. How's my mom doing? Man, my mom she got a good heart, bro, but she's like OCD, ADHD, hypochondriac. She installed a lot of trauma and anxiety into me, bro, but she's got a good heart. I mean, for the most part, she's a very, very good woman, really cares, but she's just so hyper and controlling. So you disagree with all becoming one. Well, I agree with you. History has shown us that it doesn't work, right? Like you can't. In fact, I think that what you're thinking of is like everybody has to, I don't know, live the same way or something. I don't necessarily agree with that. In fact, I think like America is literally too large. So I was starting to think about this number that's in the Bible, the book of Revelation. It's 144,000. They say, so after I had my spiritual experience, I started getting this vision in my head of what I wanted to call Aeonia, the city of light. And it was basically like America 2.0. Like that was my idea. It was to do like America 2.0. But we were kind of like, hold on, let me change the video. Hold on, let's see. I'll put on the prequel. Let's see if you guys can see it. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, there's the prequel. Yeah, so in the book of Revelation, which I'm not even 100% sure I believe in, because I'm starting to think that like maybe we shouldn't listen to all these visions and voices, because if we are antennas that can hear the spirit, like a lot of our ancestors thought that. In fact, almost all of our ancestors thought that the spirits put thoughts in our heads. We're like kind of the first generation that doesn't believe in that, which is a weird thing. So if you consider yourself an antenna that can hear both God and demon or angel and devil, then you have to consider that, maybe all the voices in the Bible are not real. Maybe they were a demon. I mean, that's what I think. Because how the hell would you know? I mean, so much of the Bible is based on some guy heard a voice in his head, right? Like, as much as I want to believe it, first of all, it doesn't make sense with Jesus, but I'd rather just listen to the word of God alone and make every other judgment for there. People are afraid to challenge their faith. Yeah, well, see, that's the biggest issue, is that like people are born into their religion, their community supports this religion, it's all they know. So when they're introduced to a different concept, they kind of get this defense mechanism where they're like, that can't be real. I know the real thing, right? But let me give you some history of me. I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I left the church, and it was only really until like 2021 or so when all this really evil, backwards, anti-human kind of demonic behavior started happening all over the world and from our own government. And it's just like, we all started to like smell that something weird was going on, right? So I searched for the truth. I studied all the religions. I practiced a lot. I experimented a lot. I studied history a lot. I prayed a lot. And what I found is essentially that it's my belief that all of the religions got are essentially a different interpretation of the same one singular religion. They all essentially got a little bit right, but the pillar is Jesus. But they pretty much all got something right. So like there's some things like Muslims got right that even Christians don't do. So not drink alcohol. We're absolutely not supposed to drink alcohol. It is the devourer of the body, and it separates you from God, and you really shouldn't drink. It's a sin. If it like hurts you and has no benefit, it's a sin. If it has benefit, it's arguable, right? But if you're just doing something for like pure pleasure that has no like benefit to life, it's just pleasure. It's technically a sin. So you masturbate or something, like that's a sin because like you're just pleasuring yourself. You're not like accomplishing anything. But it's okay to have sex with your wife because like you're sharing like a bond of love, and that's kind of like the whole idea behind it. Guys, I think I'm gonna have to end this stream and probably cut out this last 30 minutes. I really do want to make this video talking about God. I just know it's going to be perceived poorly. People are going to think I'm completely crazy, and I'm a little worried about my family being like, "Are you okay?" and putting me in like. But I consider myself extremely advanced, so advanced that I'm having trouble communicating with like normal humans now. Like when I start talking about this stuff, people are just like, "Bro, what kind of drugs are you on?" But there is so much to explain. I mean, I got to all of these conclusions through a tremendous amount of practice. Studying and practice and experimenting. And I really think I can help a lot of people, man. I really know I can. I just have to start acting. What's my favorite memory as a child other than Dragon Ball Z memory? Oh, man. That's a good question. Probably something Pokemon related, bro. I loved Pokemon. Pokemon came out when I was in 6th grade. I had the Game Boy. I had all the cards. I was going to all the tournaments. Burger King used to give out these little Pokeballs, a little Pokemon toy in it. And man, I begged my mom every day to bring me to Burger King to get a Happy Meal. I got all fat off Burger King, but I got all my Pokemon. I was a little fat Pokemon nerd. Those were good times, though, man. I really immersed myself in Pokemon. I really loved it. But it's so cool, like, being able to introduce Pokemon to my daughter, and we were, like, watch the whole series together, and I'm kind of, like, reliving my childhood, like, with her and through her. It's actually so beautiful, and she loves it. I got her. She has so many Pokemon plushies. She has, like, 16. Like, really high-quality ones, huge ones and stuff. I got her so many. You had your brain limiter removed? Nice. Yeah, I had my limiter removed as well. The main thing to have your brain limiter removed is you have to really believe and want to believe that there's something more. Reading a lot helps, reading and practicing. But yeah, so for me, what I think actually happened, I unlocked my third eye. That's what literally, my pineal gland decalcified. I had this when I was sitting in my chair meditating, and it felt like I was being crushed by light, like literally crushed, and my head was being pulled off. Like it felt like there was a suction cup on top of my head, pulling my head off as my body was being crushed by light. And more than the experience meeting God, because I was like, that feeling was so strange and scary of that, like, my head being pulled off, that I thought that was the experience. Like I was more excited about that initially because I thought like I had been practicing for a year trying to astral project basically. So I did the gateway experience, guys. That's kind of how this all started for me. I saw a tweet from a guy who said the CIA confirmed that remote viewing is real and nobody batted an eye. So I did some research on it, and yeah, the CIA did actually not only confirm it, but they released the training program for it. And the gateway process is a scientific process using hemisynchronational sounds to and basically put you in this deeply relaxed state. It's essentially hypnosis. It's very calm. You listen to ocean waves and ohms and stuff. And this guy, Robert Monroe, who designed the program, teaches you how the process for how to disconnect from your body. And so I did it. I did it for a year. And I was really stressed out at this point. So I liked it just for the simple fact that it would calm me down so much, like just as a meditation practice. But I had 3 strange things happen to me while I practiced that year, but I thought maybe they were in my head. And then I learned that Jesus and Buddha and the ancient yogis that were all enlightened, it all took them, like it took Jesus 20 years, Buddha 35, the yogis like took them 80 years to become enlightened. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to spend my whole life like laying in bed meditating, trying to leave my body. Like if it took Jesus 20 years, I'm never going to be able to do it. So I pretty much just stopped doing the gateway process after a year. But I kept doing the meditation, particularly when I get super stressed out. So one day I'm doing the meditation. I'm watching this YouTube video, and the guy says, you know, if you can't astral project, he was an Indian guy. He says, massage your forehead, like where your pineal gland is, and massage the top of your crown of your head in like a circular motion at the same time. Massage them both, and then say out loud, I'm ready for this. I want this. And like say it with intent. And I was like, what the hell, right? So I did it. I'm rubbing my forehead, my pineal gland, on top of my head in circles. And I'm saying, I'm ready, I want this. And I'm listening to the ohms and the 432 hertz. And then all of a sudden, I look up. So if you want to see your pineal gland, you have to look up kind of cross-eyed. And so I used to always see black, but now I see this giant ball of light there. See this like shining light. But anyways, I look up at my pineal gland, and there's this light, and it like comes down over me like a tractor beam, and it envelops all the black space. When you close your eyes, it's black. For me, it was all white, and it was squeezing me, and it was this is kind of why I believe like maybe Muhammad did actually meet an angel, because what he describes about how he was squeezed, like the breath was squeezed out of him, it sounded very similar to like what happened to me. And so I'm getting squeezed, but like, and it was super uncomfortable, but I kept telling my head, like, I want this, I'm ready for this, I want this, I'm ready for this. I just kept saying it like in my head. Like, even though my heart was beating 1,000,000 minutes per second, like I thought it was going to burst out of my damn chest. I thought I was going to have a heart attack or something, but like, I just like forward, keep going. And eventually it just stopped. And my heart slowed down. And I remember thinking for an instant in my head, like, damn, I almost did it. Like, I thought that I was trying to leave my body, and I had almost done it. And then all of a sudden, I'm on this spiritual plane, which I had been to once before when I was doing the gateway process, but this time there was someone else with me. This woman in a blue burqa with like gold trim. I don't know why it was a burqa, but it's my understanding that when you're in the spiritual world, you can take whatever shape or form you want. You have like a male, female, like you have a preference, but you can basically look however you want in the real world. Because we're like, it's like a living dream there. So anyways, there was this woman there, and I like poured my heart out to her, and I was like, I don't understand. I'm working so hard. I'm trying so hard, and nothing's working. Everything's collapsing. Like, what am I doing wrong? I was just like freaking out. I mean, this is actually kind of common, I think, for a parent when you're working, 7 days a week and you're not making a living wage and you have people to feed. It gets you very stressed out. So it was weird because she just like puts her hand on my right shoulder and looks me in the eye, and she had these very sad eyes, but she looks me in the eye and telepathically says, Jake, you're doing fine. But it wasn't fine like you're doing good. It wasn't fine like you're doing bad. It was just like you're doing okay. And it took me, I remember that being taken aback by that, because I was like, I don't understand. I was like, I sacrifice everything for my loved ones. Like, I'm doing everything for, I'm thinking like, how is it just okay? Like, aren't I following Jesus? Aren't I doing the right thing? How is it just okay? And I got my answer eventually, but that hit me really hard. And I asked her, I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? If I'm doing all this and I'm being a good person and it's not working, like, what am I've accomplished my dream. Like, what am I supposed to do? And she points to this white ball of light in the sky, and I teleport right in front of it. I don't touch it, but I'm like right up on it, and it's massive. And I'm pretty sure this was God. And as I came right up on it, I saw like this imagery, and I saw my whole life like in a sequence of memories which showed me my true purpose, which is that, you know, you're here to help people and lift them up. I saw how everything is connected down to our atoms. And then the third thing I saw, which I didn't say in my video about Charlie Kirk, third thing I saw is that there are no coincidences. That everything does or has happened for a reason. Those experiences you have were all intentional to lead you up to this specific moment today, to make you the specific person you are today. None of it was a mistake. None of it. It was all intentional to turn you who you are in today. And I think it's because like something is coming, like the end of the simulation is coming, and we're being prepared for it. Yeah, I truly think that. So there's I've been doing a lot of research on the afterlife. Okay, so there was a guy, a therapist who did 30 years of research. He hypnotized people who had after-death experiences, and he hypnotized them so that they could recall heaven or recall the afterlife. And the crazy thing was, they all like said pretty much the same things. Like, the book is incredible. Like, and they all also are very similar to what I saw. Very, very similar. And this helped me establish this theory of everything. Yeah, identity concealed. Thanks, man. I mean, yeah, I could talk about this stuff forever, and I'm so passionate about it. And so, like, what I've learned is, like, I think I just needed to start a new channel and just go all in on this, because you got to go where your passion is. You got to go where your energy is, you know? So, okay, so this is how I think the afterlife works. All right, thanks, Kenny. See you later. And everybody else is leaving. Undisputed. W stream. Thanks, awesome. See you, bro. So this is how I think the afterlife works. So Einstein has a theory of relativity, right? The theory of relativity is that basically time doesn't exist as we perceive it. It's all relative to the observer, meaning if you go the speed of light for a month away from Earth and you come back after a month, like I think something like 1,000 years or 10,000 years would have passed. So you'd only be 2 months older, but everybody you knew on Earth would be dead. That's basically, time does not exist. Colors, sounds, they don't exist in the sense that we perceive them. It's just a perception. Like, for example, a color hitting a color, the reason you see color is because the frequency of light hitting your eyeball, your brain processes that information and sees a color. But what you're processing is just frequencies. So our brain is essentially like a super advanced computer that instantly processes information and generates reality through our eyes. That's how it's actually working. But what I'm trying to tell you is that time doesn't exist. It's a perception. We see the sun go up and down. We see people get older. But time doesn't actually exist, meaning that if this world is a simulation where all things have already happened, all time is already done, but when we put on the headset, we pick a character in a year when that character's born, and then we go live their life. Right? This is how you could explain all the contradictions of Jesus. How is God and Jesus, how can God be a man? Well, because God's up there with the headset on. He's going through the same experience we are to become a man in this simulation with humans. But he also says God is more powerful than I. Well, yeah, because that God is outside the simulation. He's the programmer. He can change the simulation. Right? So like apparently, I guess in our human forms, we're like very weak. We still have like a faint ability maybe to access these powers, but it's very weak. But Jesus, because he was God, could actually, and as the programmer, could actually manipulate the simulation itself. He could walk on water. He could generate food out of thin air, restore the blind, bring people back to death, because he's the programmer of the game. I'm only using the word video game because it's a term that we can understand, but it's like 1 trillion times more complex than that. So the reason why Jesus never told anybody this is a video game or this is a simulation is because they didn't have those words. They didn't even have technology. So we may actually be like the perfect generation to finally understand what Jesus is talking about because we have technological understanding that is similar. You know, even though like life and the God simulation that we're in may be like, you know, infinitely more complex than a video game, but we know what the concept of like the video game or the Matrix is. So just because we have the concept now, it might be able to open doors for like a bigger understanding of what Jesus was actually talking about. So like my theory of everything combines Jesus and simulation theory, and it explains everything. It literally explains every question, every contradiction. It explains everything. And I want to be challenged on this. Like I want to talk to that guy Cliff, Sam Shimon, any like scholars, like highly intellectual scholars. I would love to tell them about this and see what they have to say. Because usually when I start talking to people about this, they start reciting some sort of scripture like the Old Testament. And I don't, you know, I don't think these people have really searched for the truth. They're just kind of repeating what they've been told. I want people who have searched for the truth and they can actually like provide some sort of evidence-based claims maybe that to argue with me. But I believe that my theory of everything is much more easy to understand than even traditional Christianity. Could the devil just be part of the simulation? So that's a really good question because there's a lot of theories on the devil. So Christians believe the devil is an angel that fell from heaven. Judaism believes that God and the devil are the same person because in the Old Testament, God was ruthless. He was both good and destructive. He had profound wisdom and good and truth, and he also killed a lot of people and ordered people to kill people, right? So they believe God and the devil are one, but Christians don't believe that. Christians believe God is Jesus. Muslims believe that Jesus was just a prophet. Muhammad is the final prophet, and just a sec. Okay, and the Gnostics believe that the devil is actually the ruler of this world, created this world, and trapped our souls here. And I really thought about that a lot because I think I can fully understand how the Gnostics came to that conclusion. And I really pondered it. Like I really thought that it might be true for a while. And one of the deciding reasons for that was eating animals. Like if all life is precious and sacred, why do we have to eat these cute animals for strength? And that really was hard on me. Like, I mean, I really thought about it for a long time and debated with myself. Why would God create all this beautiful life, these sweet, cute animals that we can live in symbiosis with, but we have to eat them? Like it felt wrong. Like it felt to me like maybe it is the devil's design. Like how comes the young are the one that get eaten? You know, you watch nature channels, pack a deer running away from a lion, you know, and they always catch the baby. You know, it's like, why are the babies get eaten alive? That's like the most horrifying, painful experience ever. Like that doesn't seem like something that God would do. And I finally got an answer. It took me forever, but I kept asking God, like, why do you make us eat your own creation? Like, what is the purpose of that? Like, how can you be the creator of the world, but you make us eat your beauty for power? That seems wrong, right? And the answer that I got was that he wants us to feel remorse. So say you have like a cute, you know, sheep or goat or whatever, and you love this goat, you know, but you're starving. Even though this goat is like your dog, your family's going to die if they don't eat. Right? So you kill the goat and you eat it and you feel remorse. Your body replenishes, but the feeling that you had to kill that goat that was like your pet makes you feel horrible. He just wants you to feel the remorse that's part of your soul growth, right? Like in a world where in the real world we have everything, we're immortal, but in here we have nothing. We have to feel all this pain. It's like our way. It's like playing Dark Souls for the first time. Like when you play Dark Souls, the first time it's so brutal. You're screaming at the top of your lungs. You're cursing at the screen. You hate it so much. You're like, F this game. But then you finally beat the game and you realize that was the best experience I ever had gaming. And when you go back to play it, it's too easy because now you know all the moves, you know all the strategies, you know where the items are. It will never have the fun that first playthrough had. And I think that's literally why we choose to have our memory wiped when we come down here. So that it feels like the first playthrough again every time. And it has to be, because that's how our soul learns. We get like our power stripped from us so that we can learn like pain. Because pain makes us appreciate, and appreciation is the root of love. And ultimately, we are angels. But you can mess up here. Like, we're angels in a training program. But you can mess up here and become a demon if you're wrong. If you like don't have faith, you can like literally lose your angel status and become a demon. Like, it's like the Matrix, but like, you know, when you die in the Matrix, you die in real life. It's like, if you become evil here, you'll become evil in the real world. Like, you'll lose. So like, this is not only a training simulation, but it's like a great filter, a massive cosmic filter of energy and time that filters out the good souls from the bad. You are judged on the things you do in this world. Muslims and Christians are the closest of all religions. That is actually true. It is actually true. I actually have a lot of respect for Islam, especially after reading about the Crusades and learning about Salah ad-Din. I mean, he was arguably more honorable than even the Crusaders, even than, you know, Baldwin. And but he did kill people too. You know, a lot of people talk about the Crusades were bad. You know, Christians killed all these people. Dude, everybody was killing everyone. And if the Crusades never happened, we'd all be speaking Muslim right now. They protected Europe from the Muslim invasion, from the Ayyubids, the Turks, the Ottomans. Like, they stopped all the Muslim hordes from destroying Europe. And, you know, and then we get taught in school that there are these horrible Christian fanatics that killed millions of people. It's like they were protecting your ass. And they were the strongest men in history next to Jesus and his disciples. They were unimaginably based in alpha. The Templars were the strongest men ever created. They were crazy disciplined. Like, the stories about the Templars is the literal stuff of legends. Like, movies and shows are based off what real men did who believed in God back then. How many chances does the soul get if you're just an average person? So from my understanding, there's new souls. Like, some of us are new souls and some of us have been here a few times. But the main objective is, I guess, you keep coming back until you enlighten. And once you enlighten, you go to heaven. So it's like a training. You have to go through a bunch of times. And what karma is, so like I'm reading in this book, Journey of Souls. If you want to learn about all this afterlife stuff, just go on Amazon, look up Journey of Souls. It's like a bestseller about this this therapist that hypnotized people for 30 years and recorded all their afterlife experiences. But essentially, so like what karma actually is, there was an example where a guy raped a girl, okay? And then when he died, he had to go be like shown what he did was bad. And then he had to be reincarnated as a woman and be violently raped. And like, that's how karma actually works. You don't face the karma in this life, you face it in the next life. So if you're wondering why do bad things happen to good people and why don't, you know, bad things happen to bad people, it will. It just happens in the next life because time doesn't exist. So you get judged based on all of your decisions throughout your life. And then I guess if you didn't enlighten, you get your memory wiped and you come back again. And you just keep doing it until you enlightened, but I do believe hell exists, but I believe it's like just separation from God. Like you turned your back on God. I don't think it's fire and brimstone and stuff. You're just like in black, empty space alone for eternity with no one and nothing. That's what I think hell actually is. Your energy is separated from God. You have no warmth. It's cold and dark for literally eternity. Like I actually think that's real. And so basically like what it feels like a solid dream. So like when I had my vision, I was awake, I was sitting in front of my computer meditating, and what it felt like to me was just like a dream, but it was like very solid. Like not pure solid like our real bodies, but like solid enough that like, you know, in a dream kind of things are like hazy. So it was not hazy. It was pretty clear, but it was still felt like a dream. So I think that's what the afterlife is going to feel like for us. And you don't have to eat. You don't feel stress. You don't have to move. So like if you want to go somewhere, you just think it and you're just there. That's how it works. Shit. Guys, my stream, I think it's crashing. I think I'm just going to end this. Hold on, people got questions. I don't want to end the stream, but I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm having some OBS problems. Give me a sec. I could use a bathroom. I'm going to read your comments. Just give me a sec. I actually want to respond to these. So let me use a bathroom and try and fix the stream. I'll be right back. Holy crap, bro. There was like this giant spider in the bathroom. Dude, that thing was like half the size of a tarantula. And I pulled out the toilet brush and started smacking it. And it started running away. Like, that droid had armor or something, dude. I finally got him, but I was like, I had to go fight Spider Godzilla for a second. All right, let me... Oh, why do you keep asking me to sign back in? Yeah, bro, I repent every day before Jesus. Actually, as soon as I started repenting, like, some really amazing things started happening. So, like, I watched this interview with the show The Chosen. It's about Jesus. I think it's on Amazon. And the actor was having an interview, and he was saying this prayer where you like ask for forgiveness 10 times a day or repentance, and amazing things start happening to you. And so I started doing it, and I instantly got a deal for Demon Rush. I was like, wait, what? Like, I got like a book deal. It's crazy, man. Thoughts on JJK season 3? Amazing so far. I love Mappa, dude. I like Mappa's my favorite studio right now. They're so good. I'm getting pinged a lot. So I think like the standard Christianity is just kind of like it's almost like a watered down version. I don't think it's the full truth. I think that I read a lot of really great philosophers and psychologists, Napoleon Hill, Carl Jung, C.S. Lewis, and when I first started reading those guys, I had no idea what the hell they were saying. Like I saw some YouTube videos of some of their concepts. And even there's a guy alive today named, what the hell is his name? The super intelligent, Chris Langan. He has this theory, he has his own theory of everything that's actually very similar to mine. But when I first heard that guy talk, I had it sounded like he was an alien. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. And now all of these people are speaking my exact language. They speak exactly like how I think. It's some sort of evolutionary process, man. Like you reach a certain age, like you really do break the limiter on your brain. But I think it's really about understanding that you've been programmed and then seeking the truth. Like these kind of people are true truth seekers. They want everything verified, but they're also very good at putting pieces of the puzzle together. And I think that Jesus left us like this huge puzzle and we're supposed to unite and solve the puzzle. And then we escape the matrix. Then Jesus comes back and he congratulates us and takes us to the next earth or something like that. Like that's what's supposed to happen. Okay, guys, I'm gonna call it, but yeah, I'm probably gonna erase the second half of this video. I'm not ready to like talk all about God and just like a live stream like this, but I'm trying to muster the strength to make it real video about it and with a lot of like visual references and not just me stumbling over my words. Like I want to be very cohesive, theory of everything, 3-hour long kind of documentary style video, and so it has to be perfect because I know most people won't take me seriously. It sounds crazy, but if they stick around and look at the evidence and how the pieces of the puzzle fit together, I think it might start to really raise some eyebrows. A lot of times for me, I was really just missing one piece of little piece of information, and it was like the missing puzzle piece that connected different elements of information that I've read and started to put this theory together. So can you please keep the stream because I'm learning a lot? What do you want to learn about? Like religion or anime stuff? Yeah, apparently in Christianity, Jesus comes and takes us to like a new earth, but I don't know if that's true, man. I really don't know. I mean, the interpretation that I get is that pretty much the earth is going to become chaos. We're all going to die, but Jesus is going to come and be like, don't be scared of death. This isn't even the real world. And he's going to take us to the real one. I think that's what's going to happen. Like this simulation is meant to feel like it's real. Like it's haptic feedback, you know, like it's so advanced. It's like so unimaginably advanced that we have no way of telling that it's a simulation. We can raid. What are we raiding? I need a new video game to play. You guys know any good, like, I love Dark Souls. I love RPGs. I like fantasy sort of stuff. I love difficult games. I could really use a new game to play. Late Night Canvas, if you want to submit an audition for voice acting, the best way to do it is just send me a link to either your portfolio or email me some clips. So my email is on my About page on my YouTube channel. You can just find it there. I think everybody feels like something crazy is coming, like World War III or aliens or some AGI demon or Jesus or something is coming. Like we can all, like a lot of us feel this strange energy and like we just know it's coming. Like we know in our gut. Which, by the way, I think that gut instinct is actually quantum entanglement, which is what the Holy Spirit is. The Holy Spirit is some sort of invisible ribbon that connects everything to everything. It's God's greatest creation or invention. And he's very proud of it. And actually, he gets very angry if you sin against the Holy Spirit. He's almost more angry at that than sinning at him. So the Holy Spirit, if it's quantum entanglement, that's what I think it is. It's like if we're connected to everything, we can, or the gut feeling is a connection either to the future or to people around us. Like, you know, when you're playing poker and you get a gut feeling, it's not really the future. It's like you get the gut feeling the person's lying, and then you call and you were correct, right? It's not. That's how you can explain the gut feeling. It's not like some woo-woo nonsense. It's actually scientific. You're just connected to the quantum. You're connected to the quantum entanglement by your atoms. So you're kind of searching that quantum field. You're feeling the vibrations of the other player and getting a sense of what their emotion is, that they're bluffing or they're confident. And that's your. So the gut feeling is actually like a psychic response, essentially. Yeah, another theory of the aliens in Christianity is the alien or fallen angels. Well, that's okay. So that's going into like the Book of Enoch and the giants and stuff. That has me curious. I mean, there's this crazy story about, I think it's Iraq, when the U.S. sent their military over there, and you can find the video on YouTube. There's these whistleblowers essentially saying that a group of military guys in Iraq, they found a cave of a giant. And this giant, like 10-foot, red-haired, like Goliath guy came out through this huge spear, killed one of the military dudes, and then they gunned him down, and then they helicoptered his body out of there. And that was like the real reason we went to Iraq. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but there's testimony for it, and there's some evidence for it. But there's also, like, you know, the Tomb of Gilgamesh. A lot of people think that the old giants are real. I don't know what to believe, man. But I do find it very strange that we all are so different and we all popped up in like at the same time. It's like all these different kinds of like humans, like breeds of dogs essentially, like all popped out of the woods at the same time. I just find that very strange. Like it would make sense to me that aliens seeded us here. It's also what the Sumerians believed. So something interesting about the Sumerians, they were the first society ever. They essentially created math, science, and religion by staring at the stars for over 2,000 years. Every single night, they would record the stars, like on their tablets. And they found that depending on how the stars were, people would act differently. So they essentially were the ones who created astrology with, I don't know, 10 generations, maybe more, of Sumerians that recorded the stars in the sky every night. And they were the ones who, these guys also were the ones who believed in the Anunnaki, which are the sky people, basically aliens, super advanced aliens, and they prayed to them. And I've also heard that these 4 Anunnaki correlate to the 4 Egyptian gods, which correlate to the 4 Christian archangels. And essentially they are the same being. So, you know, Michael would be Enki, you know, Raphael is Enlil or something like that. Like the gods look different because the cultures interpret them differently, but they're the same entity. So I think these interdimensional beings, angels, you could call them, they're they look different for everyone that sees them. That's how it works. They don't always look the same. And that's why everybody sees these different kind of gods, but they're actually technically the same soul, just appearing differently to everyone. Does that make any sense? I feel like in the next 10 years, they're going to reveal something that's going to like shatter, like shake everyone to their core. Like whether it's an alien or a giant or even AGI, you know, if artificial intelligence becomes sentient, something is going to shake humanity to its core and change everything. Do I know about angels in Islam? Well, can you tell me how the angels in Islam are different than the angels in Christianity? I mean, I know there's angels in Islam. Like Gabriel was the one that squeezed Muhammad, right? So the giants were the fallen angels slept with human women and then had babies that were like half god, half human, and those were the giants. The Nephilim are half alien, half human, basically. And the aliens are like divine. That's their story. Dude, I research everything. I was a very dumb kid growing up. I had serious mental problems. I couldn't learn anything. I would read 2 pages of a book and I would look up and I couldn't remember a single word. I was extremely stupid. I couldn't learn. I was just zoned out. It wasn't until I was 29 years old that I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of being stupid. I'm just going to learn everything about everything. And I developed this kind of fire inside of me to just never stop learning. And to be honest, man, it's got to this point where I wouldn't say like I know everything, like I'm not all knowing, but I know so much that it's very hard for me to find new information. It's extremely hard for me to find a new piece of information. And I watch so many videos of people just, you know, lying or just conjecture, like just speculating. It's just so hard to find like new real info these days, for me anyway. I just feel like I've learned everything that I sought to learn. I mean, I could always like, you know, learn astrophysics or something and keep myself entertained for 60 years. But like I'm talking about like stuff that I want to know about, especially the spiritual. Like I went all in on the spirituality, man. Like I'm so fascinated by it. Like after my experience meeting God, knowing it's real, it's like this whole world opened up to me. Knowing it's real, an entire world opens up to you. And it's very hard to be a Christian too, man. It is a battle to be a Christian. It is so hard. The animal we live in is so strong, you know, it always wants pleasure and sin, and it's just like you're so basically when you become a real true Christian, you're just like at eternal war with yourself. But it makes you very strong. It makes you very, very strong. And I think that's part of the lesson itself, is the strength that being able to conquer your animal gives you. When you have a religion where you have to practice discipline, it becomes much easier to not commit crime. Okay, so when you invite people who don't have a religion into your country, they're going to commit all sorts of crime, which is going to terrify you because they never been through that process of leveling themselves up through the discipline that religion requires. Does that sound better? So what Jesus was trying to teach us more than anything is discipline. So if your religion is teaching you discipline, then that's good. No matter what it is, discipline teaches your soul how to control the animal. If we are 2 entities in one, and they're at war, so the animal, like your human body, it wants to eat, sleep, have sex, play, fight, right? But our consciousness wants completely different things. It wants love, compassion. It wants to build. Like animals don't build, right? Like humans build. If it's something that like humans desire to do emotionally, but animals don't, then it's a very clear indication that this is an element of your soul and not your animal body. Like animals don't sacrifice themselves for each other, right? Humans do that. So that's how you know that sacrifice is a emotion of the spirit and not the animal. Or I guess actually animals do. They don't. They'll sacrifice like their own babies. I don't know that they sacrifice themselves for each other though. Like I've seen like birds and goats, I think, or maybe it's sheep. Like if they have 3 babies, sometimes they'll just throw one out of the nest and kill it, so to increase the survival odds of the other 2 babies. It's pretty sad to watch, but they do that. Well, don't worry, son. I'm probably gonna delete all this from the live stream, all the religious stuff. I'll keep like the first half of the stream. Is it true that people build a temple to reach heaven? So I'll tell you what I believe. I believe that, and this is why if my theory, everything ever did get popular, the church would come down on me because I threaten their power. Because I'm positive that this is what Jesus was teaching us, that we are the church. We are the church, not the church. Okay, so if you are out in the middle of a desert and you find a building with a cross on it, but there's nobody there, is it a church? There's nobody and nothing inside. It's just a building with a cross. Now, what if you go to a grassy field and there's 100 people standing together talking about God? That is the church. Just because it has walls does not make it a church. The church is the believers congregating. That's what church is. And I also think that when you go into a church and you feel something, it's not because of the building. It's because of the lingering energy of the believers that have constantly went to that building. All right, I'll leave it in. Thanks for the $10, JLA Rose. All right, I'll leave it up, but I'll cut out that one part because I started like, I don't know, I missed one of my words. I said something a little wrong, but all right, I'll keep it up. Yeah, I mean, I think this is not only it's not only fascinating to me, but I think a lot of people are becoming spiritual these days because we're seeing evil right in our freaking faces, man. Like so much of it every single day. We're seeing people lose their minds. There's all this chaos and war, and we had a relatively peaceful period, I guess, you know, for my whole life. It was relatively peaceful with the exception of Iraq. And now you're just seeing like pure evil everywhere. And so I think a lot of people are becoming spiritual. And that's one of the things I realized is that why evil can't win is because the more they step on our neck, the more we feel our calling. The more we lose, the more we feel our calling, and the more we rise up. And that's why evil can't win. They're small in numbers, but they're powerful. But we're big in numbers. And when we actually unite, we can change the world however we see fit. We are mini creator gods with the ability to create or destroy this world however we see fit. And one of the things that God showed me is that literally anything is possible that you can think of, you can make happen in the world. You just have to be willing to put in the effort because you're going to face resistance. Other people are trying to put their creation, their energy, how they want the world to become. Maybe they want the world to bend to their knee, right? And you want the world to be peaceful. So your energies are going to clash, and it's only going to be whoever is more resolute is going to win. So just because you can what you think becomes reality doesn't mean it's easy. Like, you can't think I'm rich and famous and everybody loves me and it just becomes a reality. You can make that a reality with effort. And as long as you believe in yourself and keep telling yourself every single day that you can do it, and you brainwash yourself into knowing that it's already happening. You already feel the success before it's even started yet. That's the secret. That is the actual secret to life. It's you can achieve and create anything you want, but you have to believe it so much that you know it to be true so much that you already feel the win. You basically have to brainwash yourself. And what I learned is all of our governments, our religions, our movies, it's all brainwashing. The whole world is still run on brainwashing. The whole thing. It's all black magic, essentially. Like, I wanted to know what the actual truth is. And I truly believe I found it. And I'll tell you this now. I want to design New Jerusalem. So I've accomplished pretty much everything I wanted to accomplish in life. I made my own show. I got married and have a kid. I got a nice car. I get sleeping every day and I have no boss. I got the best body I could dream of. And I got it all. Like, I accomplished it all. So what's the next step? The next step for me is the greatest, most difficult challenge in the history of the world. I'm going to design New Jerusalem. And I'm going to bring 144,000 believers, and we're going to build the future. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to muster the courage to begin this campaign, because it is going to be a world of difficulty. I really need some true believers by my side who agree with me and are ready to go all in. Look, guys, nobody's coming to save us. You understand? America is the last stop. All these other countries, their governments, I mean, our government too, it's all completely super corrupt. There's no, like, country in the world where they're not corrupt, where they don't steal everybody's money, where they don't step on good people's necks, where they don't do all this evil stuff. The Great Awakening is about us all realizing that we've been subverted and we flipped the world right side up. So in order to stop us from doing that, because they don't want us to do that because they're in power, they're getting filthy rich off of us, right? By making us miserable. They're getting filthy rich and they don't care about us. So in order to keep us weak, they make us sick with the food and they indoctrinate us with the schools and the misinformation and all this crap. They give you have the doctors give you pills which change your brain chemistry, and you have all these young women on SSRIs and antidepressants, men too, and it just completely destroys them. You don't need, dude, I take zero medication. And it's not because I'm better than you. It's because I understand that, for one, your diet is your medicine, but two, you can heal yourself with diet, with mentality, like literally just thinking you're healing, like placebo effect, you can heal. And rest and a low stress environment, like you guys are missing certain elements that you need in order to heal. Rest and low stress is super important. We're all so strung out. We're all so antsy and nervous all the time because we know that this world is jacked up right now. And they know that too. And they keep you in this state of anxiety because if you're in that state, you're never going to be able to learn how to use God. To separate from your body like I did, you have to be... It's so hard because we're so like we have so many things going on in our lives. We got bills to pay. There's so much going on. It's so hard to just sit in silence with nothing and be comfortable and just do the breath work and the meditation and then finally disconnect from your body. With all the distractions, with all the, time constraints you're under to pay bills and all the stuff you have to do, it's so hard to just like sit down for 2 hours with no sound, and just meditate. It's like, it's too weird for our culture. It won't work here. Americans are not going to they can't sit still because they've been trained to be like this. Yeah, I want to follow the Templar way, but not to the T. But, okay, so the Templars were... Let me tell you a story about Richard the Lionheart, okay? I think this was like the 5th Crusade. So they lost Jerusalem, and they wanted to retake Jerusalem. So this brave warrior king, Richard the Lionheart, he assembles a crusade, and they go there and they go over to near Jerusalem. They're on their way to attack Jerusalem in the desert. but there's like some coastal cities they want to take first. So they have, I think it's something like 1,500 Templars and maybe 10,000 knights versus 30,000 Ayyubids. This is Salahuddin's army. He had Mamluk riders, he had all of his army and everything. So basically these guys are wearing 40 pounds of armor for 7 days, 115-degree weather in the desert. They're wearing like, a whole metal like suit in 115-degree weather in the desert, literally cooking in their armor. They're dehydrated. They're hungry. The Salahuddin sends his Mamluk horse riders to come rain arrows on them. So for 7 days, cooking in their armor, arrows raining down on them. They can't stop to rest, to eat or drink. And they're just dying. They're just dying. And Richard the Lionheart is like, you're not allowed to attack. Nobody attack. Because for the Crusaders, their formation was everything. So they're just getting harassed and slowly killed for 6 days. They finally, and they're starting to get fed up at this point. They're going crazy. So, but the Templars, they are the most disciplined men in the history of existence. They did not sin. Most of them. Some of them did, but most of them were real pure. They believed in this. They believe it gave them power. They literally carried a fragment of the true cross of Jesus into battle because they knew it like gave them superpower, right? They had divine energy. An example of what divine energy is, they did an experiment where they dropped a mouse in a bucket of water. The mouse swam for 1 minute before he gave up and started drowning. They took the mouse out, they dried him off, and now they put him back in the and they gave him a snack, and then they put him back. Now this time the mouse swam for 60 minutes, 60, before he finally gave up, and they pulled him out. That's what divine energy does to human beings. When you think you're weak and all is lost and all that, you have no idea how much power you have deep inside of you. Unimaginable power resides within humans that we don't fully understand yet. And if you're able to change your mind in a way to unleash that power always, that's a real secret to this world. I mean, this is what I'm working on. This is what I do. How do you think I'm so healthy at 40? I look pretty good. I'm an exception of being bald. I can't change that. But I mean, the idea is, I went from fat, borderline death, very depressed and sad, to strong leader, confident, godly, husband, like nothing can stop me, like unstoppable levels of like, strength and good. Strength and good, like the truth, like knowing that like Jesus is the truth, and goodness is that, like, when you know the truth and you're defending the truth, you get so strong. It's actually crazy. Like when you actually know you're defending the right thing, like you'll put your life on the line for truth. And when you start to realize that the reason you were so weak before is because you couldn't back up any of your claims. You didn't know enough. You weren't confident enough in what you were saying was even the truth. Like, I'm very confident now in what I'm saying is the truth. And that gives me a great deal of strength. And I know that it comes from a good place and has good meaning and it's meant to help people. So I know it's truth. So that's part of the reason, like, for my change specifically. What I'm telling you, and I think this is also what Jesus was telling us, is that we have this mind power. If we can change the way our mind operates, which I did unravel it and recreate it essentially around this theory of everything. We have the potential to change reality by changing the way our brain works. If we're the arbiter of reality, if we are projecting reality and not the other way around, then if we can change the way our brain works, we can change reality. But this is like deeply philosophical stuff. How many times do I meditate? Honestly, I haven't done it enough lately, but maybe maybe almost once a day. I'd say once a day is pretty standard. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. My throat's giving out. It's 10 o'clock. I think I'm going to stream for like 3 hours. Yeah, 3.5 hours. Yeah, it was a good stream. I'll go through and like take another listen and make sure I didn't say anything bad. I usually do that. I think there was only one part here where I said something I didn't mean to say. I just didn't word my words correctly, but I'll probably cut that out. But yeah, if you guys want to see it, I'll keep it up. But I got to rest my throat now. I'm going to take it easy, but awesome to hang out with you guys. I do want to stream like a lot more this year, and I'm planning on doing that. So I'll be around again soon. Don't you boys worry. Have a good night, everybody. Have a good weekend. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.